take advantage of some of the opportunities that were there. It was rough. It was rough. We'll get into it and talk about it, but
I want a Jerome Tang clip of I'm pissed.
I'm pissed.
Some of these dudes.
That's got to be a hotkey, Michael.
Yeah,
let's work on that. Let's get the Jerome Tang, because right now, like I'm like pissed.
I'm like pissed. That's how I feel about the Royals right now. And sometimes I also want to do the one where it goes, some of you guys won't be wearing the jerseys next year. Like I kind of want to throw that in there as well because, wow,
like I'm like pissed.
You get swept by the White Sox.
Yeah,
I get it. They're better.
Do you get it, though?
They ain't great. This isn't the Dodgers here.
I don't get it.
No, like, they're better.
I know.
But they're not the Dodgers.
They're better than the Royals. How are they not? How are they not? Because you know what they are? They look like a team that's having fun playing baseball, and the Royals look like a team that just is like, bleh. It feels so bland right now. Like 2 years ago, we are a far cry from the boys are playing some ball.
Yes.
We are a far cry from what that team was like. This is fun. They're having fun. They're coming through in certain situations. They look like a team. They're beating teams that we thought talent-wise, roster-building-wise, personnel was better. But somehow they're coming through. Well, yeah, because they're playing more like an overall team. It's complementary baseball. One hand is washing the other. This is fun to watch. Last year there was a little bit of that, and it doesn't really feel like much of that is happening very often with this team. And it's certainly unfortunate that that's the case. We will talk some Royals baseball. We'll do that coming up here in this hour at some point. Let's talk about the schedule release for the Kansas City Chiefs that came out. We know the opponent, right? And I feel like in the NCAA tournament, I don't like when people complain about the teams that didn't get into the tournament. I don't like when we complain about the 69th and 70th and 71st, and we used to complain about the 33rd team, and then complaining about the 65th team, and then they added one to go to 65, and then we complain about the 66th and 67th team. I don't like that. What I think is more important is the seeding of those particular teams, because that has a bigger impact on what happens in the tournament if you are a 4 seed instead of a 3 seed. Or if you are facing a team that started off slow at the beginning of the season and then turned it on and is a 3 seed, but it's actually a 2 or a 1 the way they played since like mid-December. And it's like, wow, you got to play that team as a 6 seed, and you're playing what is probably a 1/2, but because they started off slow or injuries, they're sitting there as a number 3. Like, those things, I think, matter more than who didn't get into the tournament and who's playing in the play-in game. We've known the opponents for a while. The algorithm's there. We know who the Chiefs are going to play next year outside of 3 games. We know who the Chiefs are going to play the year after that outside of 3 games. So we know the opponents moving forward for the Chiefs. We've known that. But I think order matters. I think the order in which you play the games matter. And it'll come off as complaining. I get it. You can't control what the NFL is going to present in the schedule. We knew they were going to start off the season at home with the Broncos. We then found out yesterday pretty early that they were going to play game number 2 against the Colts at home, back-to-back primetime games. And at that point, we said, well, that means they've got 6 more home games the rest of the way and 9 road games. We knew also that they were going to play 3 consecutive road games at one point in the season and 4 out of 5 road games at some point later on in the season. We found that out yesterday with the slow drips of the faucet leaking when they go to Atlanta, home for Arizona, at Buffalo, at LA, at Cincinnati. But the Arizona game wasn't known. So we knew they were going to Atlanta week 10, and then we knew 12, 13, and 14. And it's like, wow, those are all road games.
I assumed by
week 2. By week as well. Not by week 2. That'll come when they get the 18th game.
Also the overhit. We had 1.5 primetime games in the first, 3 weeks?
The first 3 weeks, yes. The overhit in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the standalone week 4, 3:25 with the Raiders on CBS Game of the Week, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo. And Fernando Mandalorian. stepbrothers yesterday. I enjoyed it.
Pretty good.
I
Dang
enjoyed
it, Raiders, for being honestly.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
AFC. I don't know what the charge. No, I don't know what the
Let me see. Let me look it
Broncos
up.
did. But let me give credit to the AFC West because
They probably did something where their fans said it was the best thing ever. The Broncos did the Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning with his daughter, and they had the different commercials and things like that.
Atlanta's was really good with the old school ESPN style. Titans, obviously.
Yeah,
Gosh.
we'll get in. We'll get into some.
Sorry,
of those
I
things.
got excited. I got excited because I'm mad about the schedule.
I watched all 32 of those last night because why not? Why wouldn't you? All 32 except for the Spy movie by the Cowboys that was 15 minutes long. I haven't watched that yet. I decided I'm going to check out on that one. And then there was another one that was like 14. Oh, the Eagles. The Eagles' schedule release video was like 14 minutes long. The Cowboys was like 9 minutes. The Eagles was 14 minutes long because they just had players at a conference table each opening up an envelope, reacting to week by week the games they're playing, and then having like a little bit of a talk and a chatter about that. I'm like, this is dumb. So I'm like fast forwarding, seeing if there's any. Jordan Mailata, I'm looking forward to that game. They're like, okay, that's awesome, cool. You know, Jalen Hurts offering nothing except being just milquetoast there. Saquon Barkley going, no, I think it's like a 6-hour flight over to London. No, it's an 8-hour flight. No, I think it's like a 6-hour flight. I think it's like 7 or. Well, what's the flight? How long is the 6? I told you it's 6. I'm like, oh, is this really what we're doing here? Like, this is your schedule release? And then the Lions are like, let's just do 15 seconds of Dan Campbell printing off the schedule and putting it on the board because we're badass. And we don't do this funny stuff, all right? We're about that business, all right?
Not bad, though.
We're
not bad. I didn't hate it.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man, and we stand on business. Anyway, so we knew they were going to open up the first 2 games at home. I really thought Week 11 was going to be a bye. It was going to be the bye week. And instead, they get it Week 5, the earliest you could have the bye week this year. There are 2 teams on the bye in Week 5. Only 2 teams. There are 3 teams on the that have a bye in Week 6, and then it starts to get more clustered together. I don't know why the NFL has to have a bye week that early. You can find a way to fill out all of the slots. You can find a way to have your Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, your 3:25 kickoffs. Just add 1 more noon game in Week 5. Take away a noon game later on in the season when you have more teams off. You shouldn't have a bye week that early. And this is going to come off as complaining, I get it. But, if you are a team that season has 9 road games, okay? So let's put this together because I've talked about this before when it didn't impact the Chiefs. I can't remember what team we were talking about that we were like, man, I would be pissed if I was that team.
Yes.
It was 9 road games. If you have 9 road games in a season, you can't have the first 2 games of the season be home games and then the earliest bye. You are fresh all summer. You get 2 home games. Then you get 2 road games. Then you get a bye after going on the road twice. That's it. After being fresh from the summer. And then coming off the bye, you get a home game again. It is one of the more absurd beginnings of the schedule. It's created to me a scenario where the Chiefs better be 5-0 getting ready to go to Seattle. Like, they better be 5-0 getting ready to go to Seattle because the gauntlet of Buffalo, Rams, Cincinnati, and then home for New England.
I'll throw San Francisco then at Chargers. That 6-game stretch is absurd.
Yeah.
That is an
absolutely
absurd 6-game stretch.
Yeah, and that 6-game stretch will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 in a row.
And oh, by the way, you have a short one after the Patriots before you play the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
You have a short one after Arizona when you go to Buffalo.
Go to Buffalo, yeah.
Go to Buffalo. That's great. Then you stay on Thursday
Buffalo,
night football.
though, also has a short, but they're playing a home game.
Sure. And then you have a Thursday again, right, against the Rams in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You do get a nice little reprieve because you do have that Thursday before you play the Bengals.
They've mixed in some mini buys along the way with that. At least one mini buy from the Rams to Cincinnati.
I almost cussed when I saw this. I was like, this is bull because that 6-game stretch and then again, I know Buffalo also was a short week, but the Chiefs are doing that. You have 9 road games, 9. You have 3 straight road games, and you don't get a bye.
And you get a bye
beforehand.
back early.
I mean, this was absolutely asinine. This is absurd to me. Yeah, I know it comes off as complaining. I don't care. And by the way, you have dumbasses like Warren Dole on Twitter. Sorry, Warren Sharp for those
Warren Sharp, yeah.
But Warren Dole. You like that, Jack?
I thought there was somebody named Warren Dole. I was like, I actually never heard this.
Yeah,
I let it go. I knew you were talking about Warren Sharp.
That went over my head.
But then part of me was like, I think he's talking about Warren Nolan. Nope, that's an absolute
Warren
football player.
Dole, because he ain't sharp, because he goes, the Chiefs have the easiest 4-game stretch to start the season. And I'm like, you are a dumbass, sir. You're a dumbass because you're
a dumbasser.
Because what you're trying to do is basically just say the Chiefs have an easy schedule. Look, NFL, they're catering to Patrick.
Because then the reactions are, well, of course they do, because they want the Chiefs to be amazing again, and they want the Chiefs back on top.
And that's all it bleeping was. And then you actually look back and you go, hey, Warren. Hey, Warren, not Sharp. Maybe next time, paint the full picture instead of trying to get engagement.
Yeah.
You absolute buffoon. I hate the aggregators that are on Twitter that don't want to paint full pictures. They want to get their $9.27 from Elon Musk on X because they have a star next to their name. It is absurd.
My biggest beef is the bye week being that early. That to me is the issue. Because you have, and if you have the bye week that early, then give them 3 road games. If you've got to play 3 road games in a row, well, do that in week 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 4, because then you could come out of the bye week that early having more home games than road games.
Sure.
So you would at that point have 7 home games and 6 road games coming out of the bye week. And you wouldn't have the gauntlet of, like, we know they're going to play tough games. They're going to play tough teams. It's just part of it. You know, the AFC East is better than what it has been. Although we can argue about Miami and New York, so maybe not as it's New England and Buffalo. And also, we talked about this the other day when Broncos fans complained about heading to Kansas City week 1. Like, Chiefs fans would have a real beef if they complained that every single year they go to Buffalo in the regular season. It's just what happens. They go to Buffalo, they play Buffalo in the regular season on the road. They've played them like once in the regular season at home, and that was when the Chiefs had the lead. Josh Allen drove the field, scored the touchdown. Von Miller had the almost sack, which resulted in Mahomes throwing the interception because Von Miller was in his face. He saw a guy cutting across the field, didn't see the defender sitting on the route. Interception, game over. But they've typically gone to Buffalo a lot. It's that stretch of football where they are, from September 20th to December 21st, they play 11 games, and 3 of those are at home. And an early bye. And also getting a home game after the bye.
Yeah.
I mean, you are setting up the early part of the season.
You better win that game against the Chargers than my goodness.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely, because that Chargers game at the end is probably going to be either Saturday or Sunday Night Football. It's a TBD.
Could
it's
be
a Saturday,
a lot on
Sunday
the line
one.
in that game.
I think it sets up, and Jack, I want to hear your thoughts on this, and Michael, I want you to weigh in as well. I think it sets up to where there's a pretty decent chance that the last 4 weeks of the season, the Chiefs are going, you better be 3-1 if you want to make the playoffs in these last 4 weeks. Because they might be a good team, but that's a tough gauntlet for good teams. Atlanta's improved. Arizona at home, it better be a win. That's kind of a gimme. But then at Buffalo, at LA, at Cincinnati, and then you end with New England, San Francisco Chargers, and then the Raiders at home, you might look at that and go, you better go 3-1. The Raiders are a built-in win. Okay, that's fine. Depending on what they look like, hell, they could look like the White Sox. You know, all of a sudden, it's a built-in win. Oh, really?
Same colors.
Those 7 games in the first 40 against the White Sox, there's 7 wins. Oops, only 2. But New England Monday night, San Francisco standalone 325, and then the Chargers probably a Saturday game or some sort of a primetime game if everybody's healthy and things like that. I think it sets up to where there's a real crucial end of the season. I think it sets up to be incredibly difficult for them to go into Week 18 and say, cool, we can rest our starters in Week 18, and we've been playing all of these games in a row because we've been off. We've had games because our last week off was Week 5 in the bye.
I may be in the minority here, but I kind of do like the schedule for a couple of different reasons.
I'm glad you differ. It makes it better.
I was going to say,
I want to hear this. This is great.
Yeah, I actually look at the first 4 games that you have there before the bye week in week 5. You've got Denver. We know it's going to be difficult, but you also have Bo Nix coming off of the ankle surgery. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is coming off the knee surgery. We all know that going into week 1. Then you've got the Colts. Daniel Jones also coming off injury. You've got, who's it going to be, Jacoby Brissett for Miami in week 3.
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza. Is it Brissett? I thought it was Brissett.
Is it Brissett now?
If it's somebody else, I know it's...
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I thought it was Brissett, but you can expect that in week 3. Then you've got Fernando Mendoza
or Kirk
in
Cousins.
Vegas. Or Cousins, yeah.
Depending on what Brady wants to do.
No, Malik Willis. Brissett's in Arizona.
Willis, that's right.
Yeah,
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis, it'll be interesting what he does. Malik Willis, what he does as the quarterback and how they build around him and Devon Achane. That will be, it'll be new.
It'll be
fresh.
100. It'll be 100 degrees.
It'll be 100 degrees. It'll be week 3, so there will be an unknown about how they'll run their offense. But no Jalen Waddle, no Tyreek Hill.
And no Mike McDaniel, by the way.
No Mike McDaniel, Devon Achane, and Malik Willis, who I'll give a reprieve on the first pitch of the game. That he threw it way over the catcher's head and almost hit the guy that was the cameraman walking by. If you noticed, his plant foot slips. So Malik Willis has played some baseball, but his plant foot slips and anyway, go ahead. That's beside the point. I just know everybody was making fun of Malik Willis. Is like, why do quarterbacks, are they not able to throw a baseball? I'm like, look at his front foot. It plants and then it slips down the mound as he's releasing the ball. Anyway, sorry, total aside, wrecked the show. Jack, go ahead.
And you look at those first 4 games, really, if you get past week 1 with the win against Denver at home, which I believe right now, if you were to put a line out there, the Chiefs would be favored at home. I want to say it was like 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
But you win that game, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. But this kind of seems like one of those early parts of the schedule in the past where the Chiefs would start 4-0, 5-0. Then you got the bye week. You got Andy Reid off the bye week at home against the Chargers. I'm not trying to say lock in 5-0, but let's say it's 4-1 or 5-0. Then you've got the 2 really difficult games in Seattle, Sunday Night Football, and then Denver. And depending on what you do in week 1, we all know it's going to be one of their tougher parts of the schedule. Then you get Jets, Falcons, and Cardinals, 2 of those at home, and those should be very favorable matchups. I even look at the stretch that everybody's talking about, the gauntlet at Buffalo, at L.A., at Cincinnati, New England at home, the 49ers at the Chargers. Everybody's been highlighting that part of the schedule. What I haven't heard a lot of is something that you just have to go back the last couple of years and see with a lot of these teams. Are we so sure that Matt Stafford's going to be playing on December 3rd, or Brock Purdy in San Francisco, or Joe Burrow? They very well could be. Like, I'm not going to go there and put money on, like, they'll probably have a backup at that point. But in previous years, if you were to stack up those teams on your schedule and you were to say, when do you want to see them? Almost everybody would say, let me get them in December, because they historically have dealt with injuries. San Francisco, how many years in a row now, have had just a pieced together roster by the time they get to December. They still win a lot of games, but you get them in September or October, they usually have their full complement of players. Cincinnati, kind of the same thing there. But they are just an injury-ridden team, and that's why when I look at that gauntlet of 5 or 6 games there at the very end, the Chiefs have that opportunity in the first half of their schedule to build up to be 8-2 at some point.
I think 8-2 is realistic, and I feel like 8-2 is almost like, boy, you kind of feel like you need to be.
You have to be 8-2, right?
I mean, or you got to steal one of those. But 8-2, if you start 8-2. I would almost look at it and say the 3-game stretch out of 8-2 of Buffalo, Rams, and Cincinnati. Can you go 1-2 there? Can you find a way to get one of those wins? And at that point, you're 9-4, with then 3 out of 4 games being at home to end the season, and it could give you a chance to get to 12 or 13. But that's some deep waters you'd be swimming in at that point.
Well, and I know we did it last year. Like, when we look at the Chiefs' schedule, nobody could have envisioned 6-11.
I predicted 6-11. We lost the tape and everything that.
But you were not high on them after the one-score games. I don't know. It feels like that late in the season too. We could have totally different perceptions of who these teams are. I mean, the Rams are the one team I look at and I go, yeah, they're a lot of people's top dogs. They're another favorite to get to the Super Bowl. they've also had those really weird off years when they're not healthy because they're a bit older, where they lose a couple of guys and they go from a 12 to 13 win team to a 7 to 8 win team. Cincinnati's kind of in that same category too of, we all know they have the talent. We know they could put up 40 points on any given Sunday. They also don't have a great offensive line. They certainly don't have a great defense. We'll see what everybody looks like at that point, but I honestly look at the first 10 games and go, the Chiefs have their opportunity there. Where last year, did it not feel like there were a lot of really difficult games in the first part, where then it was, we just fell back on the, well, they'll eventually get going, they'll get rolling. You've got a lot of opportunities against rookie quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks, average quarterbacks in the first 10 games of the season, mixed in with the Denver and the Chargers and Seattle, where you might go steal one. And if the Chiefs are playing good football, 5-0 or 6-0, 5-1, 6-2, we got to stop viewing them through the lens of, well, that's a tough game over there. We should start having the confidence of, they can go into Seattle or they can go into Mile High and win.
They can.
Because I think it all starts about how you open the season. You open the season 3-2. Who the hell thinks they're going to be 8-2 at any point? No.
It's the confidence factor. They have to get off quickly because that does breed confidence of, all right, now we're in the tough stretch, but look at our record. We're a good team. We know we can win. We can beat tough teams. The issue comes down to, you might even start off 4-0 and then you have a cooler right then of a bye week. Like, there's just, to me, the bye is the biggest issue I have. You knew it was going to be a tough, again, Jason, as you mentioned, we knew it was going to be a tough schedule. You knew there was probably going to be a stretch where you might have 3 tough road games in a row. You knew that could be a possibility. But what we thought was, that's fine, but the bye will be like week 11.
Yeah, I really thought with that 3-game stretch of Thanksgiving, Thursday night, and Cincinnati all on the road, I think Cincinnati's going to be better this year. They've invested a lot of money on their defense. Like, we make fun of them of scoring 40 points and losing.
Oh, yeah, they're not.
I mean, give them credit that they went into the offseason and said, that's not going to happen. We lost Trey Hendrickson, but we're going to spend money on the defensive line, and we're going to draft. We're going to trade a first-round pick for Dexter Lawrence. We're going to go and get Boye Mafe.
Shamar Stewart, Boye Mafe, Dexter Lawrence, Miles Murphy,
Cook.
Cassius Howe. They also brought in.
Yep, paid for Brian Cook. And he was good last year. So, they improved their safety room with Brian Cook than what they had last year. They've improved their defensive line. I don't know how much better they got at linebacker. Offensive line still is a question mark with them. But they've
Swayze
got
Bozeman.
Swayze. Yeah, he is pretty Swayze.
Remember?
Yes. So, I think they'll be better defensively, and they won't have to win 40-point games. But we'll see what it looks like in Week 14. The Chiefs are favored in 11 games. They are underdogs in 6 games. They're 3-point dogs in Seattle, 1.5 in Denver, and then that 3-game stretch on the road, 2.5 in Buffalo. They're plus 2.5 in Buffalo, plus 3.5 in LA, and plus 1.5 in Cincinnati. And then the Chargers at the end of the season, they're 1.5 underdogs with that. Most other games, like most of the home games, they're like touchdown or more favorites. And going to Atlanta, going to Miami, those games are all like touchdown or more favors, except for Denver at home, Chargers at home, New England and San Francisco at home are the only ones that are like 2.5 or 3 or 4. Everything else is like 6, 7, 11, 10, 11, 8, 7. So there's some, what the schedule, at least the odds makers are saying, there's some built-in sort of games you should go out and take care of business. The Chiefs never do, but you should go out and take care of business. And then those tough games on the road can sometimes be a coin flip.
It's weird the Chiefs are 2.5 points at favorites at home against Denver, but only a half-point dog, you said, on the road.
1.5.
Oh, 1.5. Okay.
1.5 on the road.
So that'd be
it's only a
2
1-point difference.
Yeah, 2 point. But still, it's. You think Denver then would have been favored by more?
Like 2.5 at home.
Yeah.
Or if you get 3 points, so then
that's what I was thinking. Would be
so it'd be 3.5.
3.5. Yeah. So I just
but it's 2 points.
2 point swing.
So they would even
3.
say like at that point the Chiefs are 1.5 better if you get 3 for being at home.
Yeah.
So how much do you get 3 for being at home or not? Plus it's back-to-back road games. Going to Seattle, the Super Bowl champs, going to Denver, team that played in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. I honestly, don't mind either doing the Seattle to Denver portion of it because there's been a couple of years, and
You
maybe
say just stay west, just stay out there.
Stay west, yes. Stay
on your way back. Just stop into Colorado.
Hey, Denver and Seattle. I mean, you don't have to worry about like the altitude. But I kind of like the idea of getting a really, really tough, out of conference game right before Mile High because I may be misremembering, but it kind of seemed that some of the last couple of years, right before a really tough road game, mostly it's always been in Buffalo, like they wouldn't have had that challenge just yet of going somewhere prime time, sold out, loud. That game in Seattle, to have Sunday Night Football, you've got the reigning champs versus a team that has a dynasty in the AFC. That's likely going to be one of the most expensive tickets that Seattle has all season long. You get that game, that environment, whether it goes great or it goes poorly, you get accustomed to that before then going to Denver. Yes, I understand you have to deal with the altitude. That's always going to be tough. Then you've got the bitter rivalry. You'll have played Denver earlier in the year, so that you add that element in. But to have that right before, I would rather have a game like that than having the Jets at home, a noon kickoff, and then it's, well, we might be looking ahead of the Jets to get to Denver. You'll be fired up and ready to go for Seattle coming off the Chargers and already be fired up then going to Mile High. I might be one of the few that enjoys that back-to-back really tough two-game stretch just because you go from great environment to great environment, not a couple of soft cupcake games leading up to one of your more difficult tests.
Yeah, because your road games before that are at Miami and at Vegas.
And you'll have the majority of the fan base there.
Yeah, you should be okay with those road games. And if your first road game of the season that's tough is at Denver, it's a good point. But also you're going to Seattle, where that's a really difficult place to play. And that defense is tough, and they can beat you up. And then the next week you're going to a place that the defense is tough, and they can beat you up. Luckily, you get the Jets then at home the week after that and Geno Smith.
Is there a game on the schedule that you look at, and there's been years in the past where they might lose to the Colts in an unexpected game. Is there a game that, not a trap game, but a team that the Chiefs historically would have beat that they might not beat this year?
The New England game worries me because you're coming off 3 straight road games.
Yeah, but they're good, though. New England's a good team.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, right. I guess from your point, it's like a team that you are probably 5 or 6 point favorite, not 2.5.
I'm looking at that Falcons game. That Falcons game has all of the makings
Atlanta.
between an upset because it's sandwiched between the Jets and the Cardinals, and it's on the road.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's an
And
interesting
it's a
one.
noon kickoff, too.
Noon
It's not like
kickoff on the road.
Sunday night or the last time they played there, it was the Monday night or Sunday night game.
Yeah.
It was
Monday.
the loudest that stadium's been in forever. Like, you were ready to go for that one.
Yeah.
Those are 3 straight noon kicks.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think that's a good poll, Michael. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back and continue rolling. I want Michael to weigh in on the schedule release, and then I also want to get into a little Royals with Jack before we let him go at 11 o'clock and talk with Matt Derrick. More Zone next. We'll get our predictions later on in the show, and we've already said that Sterling and Michael are going to make their predictions for the entire season today, and whatever they predict today will be the predictions that they will have to stay with the entire year. I'll change mine throughout the offseason. But, Michael, what was your takeaway from the schedule release and the Chiefs and these? Now we know the order of the 17 games.
The biggest takeaway was that Week 5 bye just being very early on in the year, and I thought it was going to be at Week 11 before that 3-game stretch of on the road in Buffalo, on Thanksgiving, on the road in Los Angeles the next Thursday, and then they get sort of a mini bye when they play the Bengals, a little 10-day break, but that's a brutal stretch. Overall, I think that the Chiefs did get a lighter 4-game stretch to start their season, and they can stack some wins, but I kind of want to ask you guys, because we had 2 people on the show last night, Ron Kopp and Josh Fan, and I asked them if they would rather have that difficult stretch to begin the season or to end the season. And I kind of like the idea of getting a portion of those difficult games out of the way so you don't have to go on that 3-game stretch around Thanksgiving. Would you rather play those games weeks 6 to 10 or weeks 12 to 15?
I'd rather play them week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around there.
I would too.
With the start that they have. But knowing the Mahomes injury, the unknown of what the different changes to the offense may be, a new defense and players there, I'm okay with the quote-unquote easier start to the season with the first 4 games. I just think the bye week that early sets it up to be tougher the rest of the way. So, yeah, I think if they had the early part of the season that they did, and then you mix in some tougher games, the Buffalo, Rams, Cincinnati, instead of the Falcons, or mix in a home game of the 49ers or the Patriots in that stretch, and
just
not
to
have 3
break
in a row.
up the monotony of going on the road.
Yep, because they have 4 out of 5 games on the road with a bye week mixed in, and then they have 4 out of 5 games on the road with no bye week mixed in. Arizona at home at noon. So, 11-point favorites in that one. Kind of a bye, but not. But it's not a bye. You got to go out there and actually play the game, and you go through the grind of the week, and you got to actually go and tackle and take the physical toll before you then have a short week going to Buffalo. And Buffalo is going to the Jets on that Sunday. So the Chiefs have Arizona at home, not that bad. Buffalo does have a road game. They typically do that if you have a Thursday game and the other team's on the road and has to, but it's at New York. They don't travel that far to get there. And
It's
plus,
New Jersey. They're traveling one state over.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's right. They have to travel out of state.
They're
to play
going out of state.
That's a good point.
Buffalo
Yep.
has to go out of state.
And they don't get great tuition with that.
No, it's not
although
in-state.
Although some bordering states will give you that break on the tuition.
I still find it wild that the Chiefs are playing a third-place schedule, and we're looking at it like they might have one of the most difficult schedules in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, we knew who they were going to play, and now they got to go out and do it. It doesn't matter the order, whatever. We can look at it, but they go out there. They got to go actually play the games and figure it out and get it done. We'll take a timeout, come back on the other side. We'll talk a little Royals. They get ready for a 3-game set against the Cardinals. Get Jack's thoughts on the sweep at the hands of the White Sox the last 2 nights. Really frustrating. Talked about the game on Tuesday. Wasn't all that mad or frustrated. Last 2 nights have done a lot to erase that feeling. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. More Zone next. All right, man, if you're out there and you happen to be suffering from erectile dysfunction, well, you know what? Heartland Men's Health can help you out. Maybe it's happened once or twice. You laughed it off, no big deal. Then it starts to affect the intimacy, and that can affect the relationship and also impact things outside of the home, whether you're thinking about that, stressed about that. that can have an impact in different places, and it's a condition that is caused by many different underlying factors. It is not one of those one-size-fits-all, here's the pills, here's the herbals, this will be fine, because most men suffer from this, or most men that suffer from this, it's because of this particular problem. Not the case at Heartland Men's Health. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, because it's not just hey, just try this, it didn't work, okay, that's fine, too bad. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area, and it's easy just to simply schedule a consult at Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit, it's only $99. That includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit, it's free. You don't pay a dime. If it does work, there you go. They've got an expert staff with 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. We'll talk with Matt Derrick coming up at 11 o'clock. Mick Schaefer joins us at about 12:30. Jack, we talked about this on Monday, I think it was, and maybe it was Wednesday that we talked about it. I can't remember. But it's now 3 games in a row, and especially the last 2 games, Jack, where the strength has to be the strength, but it has been the weakness. And it's been the weakness for a while now. Because the Royals went from having one of the best starting staffs in baseball in the first 21 games, first 23 games, I should say, when they had the second most quality starts. They had the 6th most innings pitched. They had a 3.4 ERA in that time, top 10 in Major League Baseball in the first 23 games. But they were 7-16 because they had the 30th ranked bullpen with a 6.4 ERA and the 27th ranked offense in runs per game, 28th in OPS. The last 21 games, the Royals have the 7th best runs per game and the 6th best bullpen ERA with the 8th fewest innings. And the offense has the 4th best OPS. But the starting staff has a 5.21 ERA in the last 21 games. Now, they are pacing in those 21 games at 12-9 for what would be a 92-win season. But it's just what's happening since then in these last 4 games. The offense, to me, has been fine. But this is what happens when the beginning of the season sets the narrative for the whole season, that anytime the offense scores 2 or 3, it's the offense sucks, Q's an idiot. Whereas it's 3 straight games where your starting pitcher has given up 5 runs or more. Or the bullpen has given up only 1 run of the 6. And you've given up 6 runs in, 4 consecutive games? Yeah, 6-3, then 6-5, 6-5, 6-2. It's the strength has to be the strength if they want to start winning again.
Yeah, I mean, their 3-game sweep in Chicago was not anybody else's fault other than the 3 starters that threw. Stephen Kolek, he was good for 4 innings, but that doesn't get you that far, right? You got to be good for 5 or 6 innings if you expect to win Game 1 on the road anywhere. Seth Lugo was even worse the next night. And what's been so frustrating, and maybe it was the game plan of they envisioned the White Sox being far more aggressive outside the zone than they really were. They were number 1, I believe, in like home runs per game or top 5 or whatever, but they were 30th in chase rate. So what the Royals were trying to do was get them to swing at a bunch of pitches out of the zone. Well, guess what? They're not going to swing if you're not throwing strikes to begin with.
Right.
And the amount of nibbling that happened with Seth Lugo, where I know that the first inning there were a bunch of missed calls, but that can't derail the rest of your start. I wanted Chris Bubich to go out there where the White Sox 3 best hitters in Montgomery. I don't remember if Antonocci started or not, but then Murakami's their best hitter, lefty. You can get him to swing and miss, but they're not going to swing at your sweeper out of the zone when you fall behind 2-0.
Yeah.
And you saw so much of the passiveness of 2-0 where, well, I can't throw them a fastball. They might crush it here. You still got to get in the zone because they're going to go 2-0. Oh, that's a changeup. That's going to be down in the way. I'm not swinging at that.
It's low. I'm going to let it go. You know?
Yeah, and if it is a strike, okay, it's still 2-1. They got to battle back into this count, and that's what you're seeing from the rotation, and it's frustrating because you know they're capable to be better than this.
Yes.
Like Seth Lugo, Michael Walker, Chris Bubich, their calling card is not power. It's not striking guys out. It's throwing strikes, and it's working ahead. They didn't do that at all in this series. There was so much of an anxiousness to throw some guys that might get a hold of one, a hittable pitch. But guess what? They also might not do that, and you want to be in the 5th or 6th inning at 60 or 70 pitches, not 95, where you're asking the bullpen to pick up the slack. It was not the offense's fault. It was not the lineups that were put out there. It was solely on the shoulders of starting pitchers not being competitive enough in this series, and that has to change if they expect to win any of these games in St. Louis.
Last 4 games, they've pitched 17 total innings and 11 walks. 18 earned runs by the starters in the last 4 games and 17 innings. Last 8 games, the Royals are 2-6, and there is 1 quality start by the Royal starters in the last 8 games. That was Michael Wacha, who goes tonight, who's a machine. But Bubich, you can't be afraid to throw strikes against the White Sox. And Lugo, I said this on Tuesday with Jeff Montgomery, or Wednesday with Jeff Montgomery. I said maybe it's anecdotal, but when Lugo gets some of those borderline pitches early in the game, he's awesome. When he misses some of those or he doesn't get the call, it seems to me like he gets in his own head and he starts trying to be more fine and starts missing. It's been, it was that way, the other night. He did it again. And Bubic was the same thing. So, thank you, Jack.
Of course.
Matt Derrick next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB Sterling. Let's get a PGA Championship update as we get ready to talk with Matt Derrick about some football.
Alex Smalley now in the lead.
More like Biggie.
5 under, 2 under today through 9 holes. The course is played a lot tougher than I think a lot of the fans, we can say fans because it's not the Masters. We don't have to say patrons. A lot of the fans expected. I think a lot of people thought this was going to be a birdie fest. It's not been that. John Rahm spoke yesterday about it, going, well, the rough is very penalizing. The greens are brutal. The folks that thought that, and he said he heard about that too, they're wrong. Scotty Scheffler won under overall, 2 over today. Rory ended up 4 over yesterday. He tees off just after noon. And then obviously we talked about a little Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, yeah?
6 over.
Wow.
Yesterday. He also tees off. Let me see that start time for him. 12:43. So that's where we're currently at the PGA Championship. Again, kind of nice that it's been a little more difficult than I think the majority of folks thought. And by the way, this update was brought to you by Dewey's. Stop by your local Dewey's Pizza in Overland Park today and try their new Korean barbecue seasonal pizza. Dewey's Pizza, taking pizza to the next level. We had it yesterday, and it was unreal.
Dynamite. I know it's early, but do you have the what the cut line is looking at right now?
+2.
Oh, sorry, DeChambeau.
Looks
have to
like
get on his horse here.
+2.
So the course is playing tougher today, and he's got to play roughly 4 shots under.
I don't know if it's tougher today or not, but yesterday played a lot tougher than expected. But I think even today,
maybe
the wind could get could be an issue today.
Yeah.
There's no trees.
The
They took
wind
those.
is affecting the greens, apparently.
Yeah, dude, the greens at Donald Ross course, the greens are always going to be brutal. A lot of back to front slopes. So if you put a lot of spin on the ball, sometimes it's not the worst to be in the rough, but the rough that they have grown out here, it's not. They go. It's not the tallest you'll ever see, but John Rahm was saying yesterday, he goes, it grabs your club more than most any rough you'll see. It's just so thick and dense, the style they have. So
It's actually little mechanical arms under there trying to grab
the ball, and so
the actual club. Yeah.
and so it's been cool because a lot of times PGA's birdie fest of 20 under wins it, and you're sitting there going, wow, give these guys a challenge. Well, looks like we're going to see a challenge this tournament.
You know what? Can you find that right happy medium to where it's a challenge, but also the winner is not +5?
Yes, correct.
Can you do that? And you know what? 5 under, 3 under, 3 under right now. I think that's probably finding that. 2 over is the cut line. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Matt Derrick is our guest. 41 is the Mike podcast, and also Chiefs Digest. Matt, the schedule is out, and
It is out.
I'll tell you what, I didn't realize they were playing the Bengals or the Patriots or the Rams or the Bills again. No, we already knew who they were playing. The order was all we had to look at, and we knew they were going to play Denver the first week of the season, and then we found out during the day that there was that 3-game stretch on the road, 3 in a row. I guess the most common takeaway is the conversation around the bye week in week number 5. What was your initial reaction to the order of the 18 weeks, the 17 games?
Yeah, that's the first thing you look for. I mean, players look for win the bye week, and the week 5 bye week stands out.
Yeah.
Then I always kind of look for what are the quirks, what are the oddities, and certainly the 3 road games in a row are an oddity. Back-to-back Thursday night games are an oddity. Actually, looks like that's not going to be a terrible way it works out. I mean, it's for back-to-back Thursday games. I mean, it's going to actually maybe work out pretty decently, especially since it does kind of serve as a mini bye week late in the season.
And so the Chiefs play Thursday night against the Rams. 3 days later on Sunday, Cincinnati is going to Cleveland. So that's a rivalry game, and the Royals will be sitting at home. The Royals will be sitting at home at that time too.
More than likely, yes.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say the Royals will also be at home on that Sunday when the old Bengals are playing.
Unless there's some rainouts in the World Series, of course.
I know, that's week 13. What's the date on that for week 13 where the Chiefs are playing the Rams? But anyway, Cincinnati will be going to Cleveland, so there is a little bit of a reprieve from that standpoint. But that is an oddity of 3 consecutive road games and 4 out of 5 on the road, and then coming right back and ending with 3 out of 4 at home. Those aren't sort of mixed together there.
No, and you get another one of these stretches where, you go, a month? I think is it from October 22nd to like November 23rd or something, that you're going a month without a game at GEHA Field.
Yeah, from September.
Jihad, Kansas City Stadium.
You go
Yes.
2 months from September 20th to December 21st. There are 11 games, and 3 of those are at Arrowhead.
Yeah, that's a
So
that's
it's three. You got 8 road games and 3 home games in a matter of September 20th to December 21st. It's rough.
and week 12 through week 17 is a
Yes.
gauntlet.
Yep.
I mean, you've got a bunch of road games, and they're all good teams. I mean, you look at it and you're like, okay, well, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, then the Bengals will be the only, softy in that group. But otherwise, it's just one.
Well, I mean,
one
maybe
banger
Stafford
after
gets
another.
hurt.
Yeah,
Maybe Stafford gets hurt. Maybe, who knows? But also,
I hope no one gets hurt.
I did too. Turn injuries off. That's what I always said, because if you turn injuries off, it also means you're turning injuries off for your own team too. So I'll take my chances if the Chiefs remain healthy this year, with every other team remaining healthy. I'll take my chances for what they can do. I just don't want to have where the third play of the game on Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos, one of your premier players, messes up his shoulder, and the rest of the year he's compromised by doing that. So we don't know what they will look like later on in the season. I was surprised at the early bye week, because we've talked about this in years past with other teams. So I'm glad that I went on record with those. And so now that it affects the Chiefs, it's not just like, well, yeah, no, the Chiefs, you're mad. I don't think the NFL, in a year where a team has 8 home games and 9 road games, should give them early home games and then an early bye. And coming out of the bye, you get another home game. I mean, you're fresh as can be, and then you get 2 home games, 2 road games, then a bye, so you freshen up again, and another home game. And I don't remember what team it was, either last year or the year before. I don't think it was last year, but the year before we were looking at it, and somebody had pointed that out. I didn't notice it because I was, studying everybody's schedule. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that to a team that early. And I remember having a conversation about it, and so I saw that last night. I'm like, oh, same thing we talked about a couple of years ago. Now it's affecting the Chiefs. And so that is difficult, and I think the NFL, the schedule makers, should be a little more aware of that early in the season you're giving them games, home games, and a bye week when you're already as fresh as you can be. And also, Matt, why don't they just eliminate the week 5 and week 6 bye? And I know they need inventory, but you can find ways to have a couple of other noon games that aren't played at noon if you don't have those 2 games, because there are 4 teams in week 6 and 2 teams in week 5. That's 3 games in week 5 and 6 that you'd have to figure out to not play at some other week later on in the season.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of a bye week in really the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that just seems like something they should get away from. And I understand that might mean that you need to have teams, like 6 teams on a bye week in some weeks, in the middle of the season. Okay, do it, because I also get that you don't want to have teams on a bye week in December.
Right.
There's a point where you want to turn off the byes. So, hey, if you say you're not going to have them until week 6, if you have 4 teams on a bye on average every single week, and that's 8 weeks where you'd have to have 4 teams on a bye every single week. That's going to take you to week 12. I mean, I think that's okay.
Do they do the early buys? I know it seems silly because of fantasy football, because you can't say betting, I don't think, because they've been doing this before betting really got legalized.
There are only 2 teams off on week 9. There are the same number of teams off on week 5 as week 9.
But
that's
do we think that's part of the reason why they do it so early, is because I know maybe I'm just dumb here, but because of fantasy football and the draw?
I still don't think it's as much about fantasy. I mean, I think it's about that they don't want to end up with a dearth of product in some weeks. That if they end up with having too many weeks in a row where teams have bye weeks, and then you get into November where they're obviously, and even with the international games, that you got early games, you got those to consider, and then you get into Thanksgiving and you got that to consider, and all of a sudden maybe you only end up with 6 games on a Sunday, because you got so many teams on a bye week. And I know they don't want to get to that point, but again, I mean,
as Jason mentioned, 2 on week 9 seems like a simple fix.
None on week 12. Nobody's on a bye on week 12.
And I mean, and honestly, what? I mean, I know the math doesn't really help them that much, but if you said, hey, we're not going to have any bye weeks in the first 6 weeks and the last 6 weeks of the season, 12 weeks. Okay, you're going to have all the byes in the middle 6 weeks of the season. Okay, well, you're talking about what, 5 teams on average, about a little over
Yeah.
5. I mean, you can't do 5
Can't
teams.
do 5, right.
So
But,
it's either going to be 4 or 6 teams on a bye week every single week. I'm okay with that.
yeah. And week 12 with nobody on the bye is because of all of the added games around Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Eve, Black Friday, and Thanksgiving. There's 5 games right there. Then you've got Sunday night and Monday night football. There's 6, there's 7. There's 14 teams that you're already playing just in nationally primetime standalone games. Then you've got the 325 slate, the noon slate. But you could probably find a way to mix one bye game, one game in there where a couple of teams are on the bye instead of having it week 5
And
or
so,
week 6.
and to Sterling's point about what causes it and everything. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but sometimes if you end up with an early bye, sometimes it's your fault. The NFL is going to give teams buys early on because maybe their stadium is booked
yeah, that's a
and
good
not
point.
available because
Yeah.
at some point, you're still getting concerts and everything that have been booked, and
Yeah.
that might be a problem.
In
You've got
years to where,
college
like,
games in your stadium.
Olympics or World Cup or things like
Yeah.
that you've got to work around. That is there are some things that aren't that are out of your control that the NFL is saying, well, you chose this to a degree,
But
not the team, but
This
City.
year's Chiefs bye week seems purposeful.
yeah.
I mean, this seems like
In what way?
I mean, this seems like you look at the first 5 weeks of the season, and this looks like, and the rest of the schedule too. I mean, you look at this, and it certainly looks like the NFL is saying, okay, we're going to put the Chiefs on prime time 2 times because we think Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready to go week 1 because that's what the Chiefs are telling us, but we're not so sure, and we're not sure how he's going to look. So how about we just kind of backload the schedule and not make it too exciting in the first 5 weeks of the season. But then, when Patrick Mahomes is feeling better, then we're going to crank him up.
Yeah,
That's what the schedule looks like.
That's and also later on when they get into some of those then national televised games, primetime games later on, those can all be flexed out.
They can be flexed out. Yeah.
So you get them early saying, we get a healthy Chiefs team and we think a healthy Mahomes early on, then a bye week, then a Sunday night football game against Seattle, and after that, we'll see. But then outside of Buffalo, that's not going to be flexed out. But other than that, Thursday night, Monday night can be flexed out if need be with some of those new rules changes. Because week 13 is the first week that Thursday night football can be flexed out. Week 12 through 17 is when Monday Night Football can be flexed out, and that's Week 15 against New England on Monday Night Football. So 2 of those games fall right into the window of flexibility in the NFL scheduling with the Rams and New England. It could also mean that the Chiefs get flexed into one of those games because they're playing well, and it's, Chiefs and Bengals are 2 teams that are sitting there at, I guess that would be, Week 14, so you would have played 12 games at that point. These 2 teams are both 10-2, and they get flexed into prime time or something like that. So it is interesting that you think it was purposeful based on somewhat of the health. And I think the unknown of if the Chiefs get back to the top of the AFC, if they had like a 12-5 season and lost in the divisional round, I don't think there'd be a question of, well, can the Chiefs bounce back? Or the Chiefs going to be like, yeah, the Chiefs are going to be there. It's what they've been constantly. Are they going to bounce back? What does Mahomes look like? Was 6-11 because Mahomes was injured? Well, before he got injured, that was a team that was 6-8. In that game that he got injured, he played all but the last series. It was a 6-8 team before, those last 3 games. So it wasn't exactly a team barreling towards the playoffs. And then it wasn't Derek Carr going to win an MVP with the Raiders when he broke his leg. It wasn't that. And everything changed after that point. So I think there certainly has to be an unknown from the NFL of, it's an unknown about Mahomes' health, but I think there's a confidence that he's going to play early.
Yeah.
But it's also then an unknown of how good are they going to be later on, and are they going to be a primetime draw that they ended up last year not being at all.
And this is, the NFL will tell you, it's easier to flex teams out than to flex teams into prime spots.
Yeah.
So, you put the Chiefs in these prime spots late with the idea, hey, you know what? Yeah, if they do struggle, if Mahomes is hurt and doesn't play or he's not playing well, you can flex him out. Trying to flex the Chiefs in, you can't flex 3 games in. So if they're giving the Chiefs like 3 primetime games, you're not going to be able to turn that into 6 primetime games very easily. but you can turn 6 into 3
Yeah.
really easily if they are struggling.
And they might be able to turn 6 into 7 with that Chargers game.
And I'm going to go back to the I
end of
think
the season.
I think was the little bit of protest from Mike North, the VP of broadcasting, because we talked about his appearance on the podcast in Buffalo. You
Yeah.
know, it's always game day in Buffalo that he does every year, and it's a great appearance where he just really explains. And they spent a lot of time talking about the Chiefs this year.
Yeah.
Always do, but
It's
this year it was a lot.
He sits on that podcast for like an hour.
Yeah.
Talking with them.
And they may have spent like 15 or 20 minutes talking about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that came up during this year's discussion was that he was the one that originally was saying, yeah, you know what, this schedule might not come out until like the 21st.
That's
You know,
right, yeah.
Because he's like, we're not ready. And, you know, and remember, the NFL was announcing games on Monday. They announced the Chiefs-Broncos game without being able to tell you where it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have it scheduled yet where it was going to be in week 1.
Do you know?
You believe that? They didn't know where it was going to be?
The NFL, I mean, the NFL said that they did not have. I mean, this is the
you
NFL
guys-
itself.
are
They're
you-
saying that Roger Goodell did not sign off on the schedule until Tuesday afternoon.
You guys have talked to Mike North in the past, right?
Yes.
Are you, so you and Nick have that relationship. Are you guys going to talk to Mike North on 41 is the Mike podcast?
Mike was unfortunately busy this weekend, but we are going to be talking to Blake Jones,
Okay.
who is
Blake
I think he's
Jones.
senior director of broadcasting for the NFL. He works for Mike. So
Okay.
yeah.
So good. Awesome. So there's
Yeah.
some more. I
Yeah,
like that one.
Mike and Blake Jones basically
Yes,
becomes
Blake-
Mike Jones.
Blake Jones. Blake Jones.
Tipping
that'll
on
be good.
fofos.
So that'll be good because when they said we don't know where it's going to be, my antenna went up. I'm like, BS. I don't know why they're deciding this or putting this out there, but they know where it's going to be, or they are 98, 99% sure where it's going to be, and for whatever reason, a T needs to be crossed or an I dotted, but they know where this game is going to be. They're not going to then, it's not a 50-50 coin flip of, well, we don't know, is it going to be in Denver? And then we can just flip the one later on in the year. It's easier to do that when you've got a team that you play twice, you know it's going to be a home and home. But I am interested as to why that came about with that conversation, as to why it was released without the destination being
Yes, exactly.
who's hosting Monday Night Football to begin the year.
And there's quirks in this schedule that you look at and it's like, okay, this is not normally what the NFL does, and there are things that are here that the NFL has said that they tried to get away with. You know, for instance,
Get away from or get away with?
Get away from. I guess
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I should be using the right preposition in the wrong
Yeah.
place. They've been trying to get away from doing has been like having teams play 3 games on the road, especially if there's not a bye week involved.
Yeah.
Even 3 games at home. I mean, you know, they've wanted to get to a point where, hey, it's 2. Nobody has these 3-game stretches or anything worse than that. I think what was it like the Raiders? Didn't they a couple of years ago have like where they had 2 stretches of 3 games,
3
on, the
games
road,
on the road,
and
yeah.
Everybody in the NFL at that point was said, well, you know, that was kind of admitted it was kind of an accident.
Yeah,
They
and-
didn't mean to do that.
And then most people went, the Raiders suck anyway, so can we move on and talk about something that may actually impact a team that's good? And that's what, like, where the Raiders weren't good, so nobody really cared at that point. Like, the NFL was like, well, that kind of slipped through the cracks, which you would say how and why would it slip through the cracks.
But
But it
again,
wasn't a big, like, what to do because the Raiders weren't expected to be good.
it's really hard. I'll give them this, you know, pass on it from this perspective. It's really hard to, you know, every time you crank out a schedule, and I'm sure it's probably easier with AI now and everything, although I know that, hey, when I'm trying to do things with AI and I tell AI to do things, it doesn't always do them.
Well, it was odd that, yeah, but AI also listed the Chiefs versus the LA Torpedoes. And it was like, hold on, man. What, like, that's not the team. There's always 1 or 2 things that AI messes up that you know that
Great
it's,
googly moogly, but who are the chefs?
You know, that's right. You know it's messed up. The Chiefs and Rams in Australia in week 13. No, damn it, AI. But go ahead.
Because Mike North had explained to us before and everything that, you know, one of the things that they do with their scheduling parameter, and, you know, and hey, it used to be like these 2 old people in New Jersey or something. Maybe it's Major League Baseball schedule. I can't remember. But, you know, at one time it used to just be on paper and you just move things around and all this. And now they have a computer program. And it's not as just simple as saying, hey, take these 272 games and put them into some order. It's like you put in all the parameters that you have. So you might have like 300 exceptions into
Yeah.
this thing. You're saying, okay, well, the Chiefs can't host on this date because they have a concert, and
BYU
you know,
can't play on Sundays.
this team can't play on these dates and
Yeah.
everything. And then you crank out a schedule and you think, okay, well, this looks good. And then all of a sudden somebody throws a wrench and says, oh, well, you know what? Now we can't play in this stadium on this date. something's happened, or oh well, you know what? It looks like the Eagle or the Phillies are going to be good this year, so we might not be able to put a Eagles game on the same day as a Phillies World Series game or something nuts like that.
Hold on, let's pull the schedule back. Schwarber's on a heater.
Exactly.
The Phillies suck, but Schwarber's on a heater now. He's got 10 home runs in the last 12 games. Let's pull this thing back. The Phillies might be actually hosting games now.
There's always something
That is funny.
crazy popping up.
That is funny. But like, I know it's not the same as the NCAA tournament because it's just 64 teams in one bracket, or excuse me, 68 teams in one bracket. 76 teams in one bracket. But it is interesting, like the algorithm that they use and the computer program software that they use. Once they've scrubbed the 1 through 68, at that point, it's the algorithm just places the teams.
Yeah.
And that's really it. And the only time that you'd have to look at something would be BYU, but that's also part of the algorithm. It'll put a team there and there'll be a big red, flashing red thing on it because I've done the mock selection, and I didn't realize the whole thing is really who's in the tournament in 1 through 68. Once you get that, all the computer programs with what you can do, can't do, and you can't be one of the first 4 teams in your conference to play in the same region, or one of the first 3 to play in the same region, so you got to be in different regions, all those different things. This is different with the almost 300 games and all the different things that will go in a bye week and playing each other, and not having some of those 3 in a row games. International games, when do you give the bye week to a team that's playing internationally? I know it's a little more difficult there, but I would wonder if it's just like, okay, don't have, can you write that program and that code of don't have a team that has 9 road games play 2 early home games, have an early bye, and then have a home game coming off the bye.
Yeah.
Don't have that.
And I've only heard the descriptions about how this program works and everything, and one would assume that if the computer and the algorithm can't figure out how to make it work in your exceptions and everything like that, that it's not going to just ignore them. But I think it probably can. But the other thing, and this is what I would do if I were the NFL, and I don't necessarily believe, because when I asked Mike about this once before, I didn't get a direct answer, so I'm assuming that it's not. But I would have somebody in that building that is just like, okay, you are the Oakland Raiders. You're going to look at every single one of these schedules that we pop out that we're proofing that we think might be a good schedule, and you look at it only through the eyes of the Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders, too. That's
did I
crazy.
say that? Yeah.
I can't wait.
Probably
look at the St. Louis Rams.
Look at this through the eyes of the Oakland and the Las Vegas Raiders. Make sure the fans in Oakland are okay with it, too.
Make sure the fans in San Diego love this Chargers schedule.
You can't. You can't. The same person can't go through a schedule and say, okay, well, this looks fair to the Chiefs and this looks fair to the Broncos. No, because you're not looking through the glasses the right way.
Mm-hmm.
It's only once, and sometimes the Raiders problem they had a few years ago, a great example of that. Unless you've got somebody responsible for the interest of every single team, and not like one person responsible for the interest of 4 teams. Yeah. You're not going to catch everything. You're not going to catch wait a minute, why are we playing 3 games in a row on the road, or why are the Raiders playing in Tampa one weekend and then the very next weekend going to Buffalo? Yeah. You don't, and it feels like to me there's a couple of these things in here where there's some teams with rough road trips and back-to-back weeks. There's a lot of more, it feels like 3 road games or 3 home games in a row, and maybe that's just because of the vagaries of the schedule and everything that they're having to jump through the hoops. But I also feel like it's like this. They would have loved to have had the schedule come out a week later. It was already coming out because usually it's like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. It got negotiated to a Thursday when I think that the powers that be really wanted it to be a week later. But it was coming out this week because of upfronts. All the broadcasters are selling their advertising, and they were like, this is the only programming we have. This is the only stuff people watch. We've got to be telling them, we got to be telling all these businesses and these corporate buyers and everything like that what our NFL games are, because this is our inventory, baby. Yeah,
interesting. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll look at some of the games and which games Matt may look at, and if there's an upset brewing that he would like, or one of those, how'd they lose that game this year? We'll talk about some of those things and some other Chiefs-specific questions with Matt Derrick. 41 is the mic. Chiefs Digest. Matt Derrick hanging out with us here on this Friday. All right, hanging out on the Friday edition of The Zone with Matt Derrick.
I am disappointed in Matt.
Yeah,
He
That
goes,
was
put it
just
in the
a
next
brain
Friday.
cramp.
Matt goes, I'm Toto's one of those underrated rock bands. I go,
It's true.
yeah, I'm with you. Toto's phenomenal. They might be one of the more underrated rock bands out there. You know, that kind of smooth rock, the yacht rock era. And then you go, yeah, I love the Jukebox Hero album.
That was part of an extended
It was
conversation.
an extended conversation. It
There
wasn't
was
one to the
many,
next.
Yeah, I mentioned many of.
But we were talking Toto.
Many of Toto's very underrated moments.
But
of
he
their
was talking
career
about the first
behind the scenes.
things he bought.
I didn't transition it well,
Yeah.
but it was totally just a brain seizure of some sort.
Yes.
So
Like,
that's
this
Foreigner.
This is I have.
foreign to me.
There's no doubt I have onset of Alzheimer's or something. So that was
Guitar
what it
Hero.
was. But you can trust me. I'm telling you, Sterling. You can
All
trust
right,
me.
I'll trust you this time.
You can trust me.
Yes, there you go. All right, Matt, we look at the schedule. Is there a game on there where you look at and go, how'd they lose that one? What happened there? What's the deal? Everybody thought they were going to win, and they were like 7-point favorites, and they ended up losing that one. What would be the most likely game, or the one you would look at and say, if it happens, it would be that one? Not predicting that it would happen.
I mean, the trappiest of trap games to me would. When you look at it from that perspective, but I hadn't thought about it yet. But none of them looking at it, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's happening next, and the turnarounds, and what happens leading into it, and everything. And my goodness, that Cardinals game is just sitting there as like world's biggest trap game.
Yeah, 10-point favorites, and those previous two games.
Yeah.
So going to Atlanta noon, and then returning home against Arizona. Like after that Denver trip, after you go to Seattle and Denver, you need to be 3-0 those next 3 weeks. You need to take care of the Jets at home, Falcons on the road, Arizona at home. That would be one of those to where if they go 2-1, doesn't matter which game in there, you'd go, of course they lose. How did they lose that game? How are they not sitting 8-2, getting ready for this tough stretch? How are they 7-3 now? Who did they lose to, and what happened?
Because you have to. I'm going to assume that they're losing that Buffalo. They lose at Buffalo.
They
and
lose
it's
at
a
Buffalo
short
in the
week,
regular
and
season. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
turnaround and everything like that.
That's what they're doing.
It's brutal. Yeah,
They lose at
exactly.
Buffalo.
You're going to lose at Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then you really, if you lose at Buffalo, you really would like to beat the Rams. Of those three games, Bills, Rams, and Bengals, you have to win one.
Yeah, go 1-2. I don't think you have to. It would be nice if you go 1-2 in that stretch. Find a way to win one. 2-1 would be amazing. 3-0 would be like, oh my God.
You don't think they
this
would
team is-
have to go at least 1-2 there? You think they could handle 0-3?
Yeah. They can handle 0-3 as long as they start off 5-0 to begin the season. Like I said, the schedule is set up to me like it's almost like they have to be 5-0 because of some of those tougher games. You got back-to-back trips to Seattle and Denver after starting off 5-0. You sit 4-1 or hell 3-2. You're staring down the barrel of 3-4 after Seattle and Denver.
Well, if you're 5-0, that means you're 3-0 in the AFC West.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, that'd be great.
That'd be great, yeah.
I'd settle out of court.
Because you got Denver and the Chargers.
Take it now. Cash it in.
You got Denver and you got L.A. at home.
Yeah.
And the only one on the road would be Vegas. Like if you had Denver and L.A. on the road and then Vegas at home, well, then I wouldn't have them going 5-0. But the way that it's set up, 3-0 in the division, that'd be great. And to me, I look at it and say 5-0 because that's when the schedule turns into a bear. Is after that Chargers game.
If you with that 6-game gauntlet staring down your face starting on Thanksgiving, you need to be no worse than 7-3.
I agree.
You'd love to be 8-2, but
If you're 7-3 and win one of the two, then win one of those 3 road games, I think you're back on track of being a team that would be 8-5. I think if you're 8-5 with the final 4 games to go, with 3 of those 4 at home, and then at LA, I'd be fine with that. Totally fine with that. With the way the schedule is.
Yeah, the real problem is that if you're 6-4 at that point, then I'm really trying to figure out how you do better than 2-4 in that 6-game stretch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because if you aren't good enough to win some of those games earlier, now you're just going to turn it on when you don't have a bye week to rest or get healthy along the way in there.
So also, let's be real. It all comes down to what Kansas City looks like.
Yeah.
Do they adjust
Right.
their offense? Do they look like 2022? Do they look like last year? Do they look like 24, where there's a little bit of a mixture in there? There's just so much variance. I guess I'm taking this team as way better than last year, but not at their peak. I think, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I think this is I have to see it first. They're still in Missouri, so it's still a show-me state, right? Kansas City Stadium, is that what we're calling it now, is still on the Missouri side
Kansas City
for
Stadium.
now.
God, what are you going to say in 2031? I mean, they're going to have to sunflower it. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Grow big and strong? I don't know.
I'm not sure what it is, man.
But I guess for me, it comes down to what do they look like, and what do you guys think? Where do you have them? Do you have them just reverting back and looking like, yep, this is the Super Bowl team we're used to seeing? Or is there a little bit in the back of your mind, yeah, last year, I don't think they're that bad, but there still might be some semblance of that team in here?
I think they will be closer to 22 than they've been 24 and 25. I think that's what they'll look like. But injuries can go a long way in derailing certain things. But yeah, I think they'll be closer to 22. I'm not saying that Mahomes is going to win an MVP and they're going to have the number one offense out there, but I think some of the Josh Hader and Bill Hader, and I guess me being a hater, some of that is where you have not necessarily a come to Jesus moment, but you got to look yourself in the mirror as to why the offense has been stale the last couple of years. And I don't think Andy Reid is just going to go, I don't think Andy Reid is just going to go, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You know, we're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it'll be fine. They spent money on a running back for a reason, okay? They didn't go and spend money on Kenneth Walker to then have, you know, him come in on short yardage situations and do the same things over and over and just hope that he will take a 4-yard gain and make it a 7 or hit a home run from time to time. No, I think that they are going to do some things differently this year offensively, and they had to do that from 21 to 22. They traded Tyreek, and everything was sort of new, and they had to do some things differently. And they came out like gangbusters, and it was like, oh, okay. Mahomes is spreading the ball around to a lot of different people. Wow, 8 different guys caught a football today. Oh, wow, there were, 10 different targets. Mahomes is just in his bag, and it's just, where's the ball supposed to go? Boom, on time, there. And the offense looked good. I think that's what we'll see this year, closer to that than 24 and 25 the last couple of years. That would be my guess, Matt.
Yeah, the strange thing is that I feel like that this run game, even if they did make almost no changes in the scheme and the execution of what they're doing and everything, I still think it's going to be so much better because, bless their hearts, Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt just didn't have the juice anymore. Yeah. I mean, I think you could run the exact same plays with the exact same blocking that they had run game-wise last year, and I think Kenneth Walker's putting up like 1,400 yards because the yards were there. The offensive line was not bad last year. It was that their scheme, one, I do think that it got attacked pretty well, and teams kind of know what they're doing and everything. But two, I mean, they've got good guys. I mean, even if teams were not surprised by the looks that they were giving them, the line was executing. The problem is that they were getting no yards after contact. I think it was like I've been saying, I need to try and find it. I think Warren Sharp had some statistics from his numbers that, the Chiefs were like in the top 5 as far as running backs in yards before contact. And then they were like dead last.
32nd in yards after contact?
Yeah, I mean, Pacheco and Hunt last year, I mean, they would get the yards and then just absolutely go down the first signs of contact. Kenneth Walker's not going to do that.
Yeah, because also, like, how much does it, even if they run the exact same, and I think I want to acknowledge this too, when you're talking about, just simply placing Kenneth Walker there as opposed to Pacheco or Hunt. Even if they run the exact same offense that they ran last year that we looked at was stale and predictable, does it become less stale and less predictable when teams can't just sit there in a light box play after play after play and put so much on Mahomes' shoulders because the running game is not forcing teams to adjust or the linebackers to react? And so you're running a play action and the linebackers are backpedaling already. They are not attacking downhill, which Sean Payton would say, I don't know anything about attacking downfield. What do you know about attacking downfield, Sterling? The linebackers are not attacking downfield like they would like those linebackers to do there in Denver. They were backpedaling when that happened, and Andy Reid acknowledged that after the season was over. If you have a running back that does get a reaction out of the linebacker and you force them to be in less light boxes, then maybe running the exact same plays and same scheme changes things up, because it's not as easy for the defense to then make those plays because they do have something else they have to worry about. I think there's an element there.
I think for me, just going back to like the original part, yeah. I'm with you. I think you and I are pretty lockstep of, I think last year was an outlier. I think maybe there's still a part of me that worries. But when it comes to this team, I think they're going to adjust. I think anyone who thinks Andy Reid isn't going to adjust, I think that you're I don't like to ever tell people I'm a fan, but I think you're being a little emotional, maybe. He's adjusted so many times in his career. He's reinvented himself. He's reinvented the offense. I think at some point, when the run game was so bad, there was nothing you could do. And you were so far into the season that at that point, what you can't just say, now we're going to do 13 personnel. We don't have the personnel to run 13 personnel. You don't have the ability to say, hey, Patrick, I know you never run under, you never really get the ball out of under shot, or you're always out of shotgun, not under center. But all of a sudden, 12 games in, now all the snaps will be from under center. Yeah. Well, that's not how it works. So I do think we're going to see so much change from last year to this year.
And I think the coaching on the offensive side is just going to be so much better, too. I think that part of it is going to be so much of an improvement. Like, we give Dave Merritt a lot of credit for what he does for the secondary. Well, then the flip side of that on the other side of the football would be, then how much did we think they were missing with Embry and Pinkston in their positions of being so green in what they were doing in trying to coach that up, and the running back room being less than stellar when it comes to having the ability to do some of those things, but maybe also not coached up to where you see some former players point out this play is, and it's one that continues to annoy the heck out of me, is, Mitchell Schwartz pointing out, and I can't remember which game it was, but it was like, this is a schemed first 15 that you have practiced, and everything is exactly the way that it looks. And it's supposed to go right off the backside of Travis Kelce. And Kelsey's blocking, and he's, scraping off of Jawan Taylor, getting the next level blocking, and he looks up, and the play is the other way, and he's going, what in the hell happened? Because the running back, for whatever reason, ran left. And Mitchell Schwartz was, this is a first 15. This is one you've practiced over and over again. I can't imagine what it was like for the coaches and Andy Reid to look at that and go, this is a 10, 15-yard run that resulted in 2 yards because the guy just did something different. It was blocked exactly the way that it was supposed to be blocked. Those things can happen, but also that's details in coaching. That's details in coaching. And I don't think that would happen this year with the details in the coaching, and Mitchell Schwartz pointing out one of the Isaiah Pacheco runs that he starts off going to sort of 230, and it should have been at the 130. And he's like, it seems minuscule. He's like, but this angle is how you have to take this run, and by taking it too far that way, you see what it does to this particular linebacker or that. If he heads this way, which is the way it's taught, well, again, those are details that can't be missed, and it feels like they've been missed the last couple of years. So even from that perspective, it feels like they should be better.
Yeah, and you're talking about the coaching and just looking at wide receiver for a moment. Greg Lewis's last year as receivers coach was 2020. And then 2021, Joe Blameyer took over, and then you had Connor Embry for a couple of years. So it's been those two. In 2021, they still had Tyreek. So it was Tyreek and Travis. I mean, that was still humming and everything. 2022, you had Juju come in, and Juju was almost a 1,000-yard receiver that year. I mean, despite the fact that he didn't play the entire year. But, Travis, I think, had 1,300 yards that year. I mean, you were fine. I mean, your top two guys gave you like 2,300 yards receiving. That's an elite offense. 23, things started, coming down a little bit. That was probably the, sheer will of Patrick Mahomes in 2023 taking you to that.
Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney is your part of your top three in 2023 with MVS. MVS, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, your top three receivers. And Rashee Rice as a rookie.
Rashee Rice was almost had 1,000 yards as a rookie.
But
so.
entering the season.
And they didn't even have a 1,000-yard receiver that year because that was
Yeah.
the first year that Travis was under 1,000, and and that's why I say at 23 might have just been the sheer will of Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And we were joking about it last year. I mean, you look at this Chiefs offense after Patrick got hurt last year, and probably should have retroactively won every MVP award of the last 7 years. Just the light switch that flipped when you don't have that guy in there. And then, last year, the defense, in 24 rather, not last year, but 24, the defense carried that team. Yep. Mahomes is still a force, but the defense carried that team. And some one
score wins along the way,
Had some help along the way, some kisses. No doubt about that.
Some things happen.
But I agree. I think that, bringing in Chad O'Shea as the receivers coach is a big part of them trying to revitalize this passing game. And their actions this offseason have said that they think that's the biggest issue because they haven't replenished, they haven't changed the receiver room. If anything, they're saying goodbye to most of the guys. Their only addition really is Cyrus Allen. So they think that it's not personnel. They think it's coaching, execution, scheme that's going to make them better.
One quick one. Would you have been in on Jawan Jennings at that price? 1 year, $8 million?
I would have been because I was of the philosophy of signing him as a restricted free agent last year. And
that's right. I think we talked. Maybe we talked about this last Friday. My bad.
And seeing that the 49ers
I remember you saying that
last year.
Dang it!
I'm assuming there's got to be a reason.
Not stupid.
I'm going to ask you next Friday. I'm going to see if you change your answer next Friday.
There's got to be a reason that he was that affordable and everything. And there's, again.
Yeah.
The 49ers, hey, granted, they seem to burn their way through relationships with the receivers. I don't know if it's the organization or the receivers, but...
Yeah. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling, wrapping things up in this hour with Matt Derrick. Mick Schaefer will join us in the noon hour. More Zone next. I will continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Matt Derrick is with us, wrapping up this 11 o'clock hour. We'll talk with Mick Schaefer coming up at noon 30 or so. If first blush with the schedule, before we let you go, record, rough, 10 to 13 would be a too wide of a range for us. We want to hone in a little bit more, but a rough guesstimation.
To me, the difficult number you give me, if you gave me 11 and a half wins over under, that would be the difficult one.
That's the tough one for me too.
Because I feel like the schedule shakes out to like 12 and 5. Things go right, 11 and 6, and if things go really south, obviously, I don't see 13 and 4 or anything better than that. I think that's going to be really, really tough.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, you know what? I mean, anything under that's in play. I mean, things can go south again, but
I think their
Go north.
Their total is 10 and a half.
and 10 and a half, I would take the over. I mean, once again, I think that it's. I'm bullish on this team. I mean, I think they're going to win some games.
Yeah, I would take the over as well on 10 and a half, but if it was 11 and a half, I'd be really quite. I'll abstain.
No
Can I place at 11 and a half? Can I just take one of these games?
They get a tie.
Yeah, I just want my money back.
What's
It's
the
a
rest?
push.
What's the rest of the division at? I mean,
That's a good point. I'd have to look at that. What the rest of the division is sitting at. I can't imagine somebody is more than 10 and a half.
Broncos
in the division
could be close.
I don't know that they would be.
I wouldn't take it. I would take the under.
I don't think
but-
they'd be 11 and a half though. Now you're talking about them getting to 12 wins.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I would doubt they would have that. I mean, preseason, like 12 and 5 is difficult in the NFL. So, I mean, Denver got to 14 and 3. So it's not like, 2 games worse this year, they'd still be over 11 and a half. But there's also the question of whether Denver does the Chiefs from 24 to 25.
Here we go. I got
when
it.
they had so many one-score wins along the way. And it was like, oh, the Chiefs are so lucky in 2024. But in 2025, Broncos were just winners. Like, they just knew how to do it. And the Chiefs are so far behind them now, there's no concern. They've won 14 games, and it doesn't matter if some of those were by one score.
Well, piss Broncos fans off even more. At 10.5, you have the Chiefs. You have the Chargers. At 9.5, you have the Broncos.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It'd be
that's a
the
hard one.
over.
There.
The over would be 4 games worse than a year ago.
Where are the Raiders at?
4.5, 5.5,
Raiders are at 5.5.
5.5. Yeah.
I was hoping if they were at 6.5,
Oh,
I'd
take
hammer
the-
that under.
Take
I'd
the under.
hammer the under.
But what about 5.5?
5.5 is exactly the right
that's
number.
tough. Yes,
that's
I know.
tough.
That's damn it, Vegas. Stop doing that.
Just hammer it.
I think it's probably still going to be the under, so that would be where I would go.
I think so,
I
too.
wouldn't bet the
Yep.
over.
Who's playing Week 4 against the Chiefs for the Raiders? Who's quarterbacking Week 4 for the Raiders?
That's a good
Is it
question.
still Cousins or is it?
It'll be Cousins. That early in the season, it'll
I
still
think
be
it'll
Cousins.
be-
They might change mid-game if it's 31-0.
Thank you, Matt.
Russell Wilson it.
Yes. All right, Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. Thank you to Matt Derrick hanging out with us the previous hour. Jack Johnson hanging out with us in the first hour today. We've obviously talked a lot of Chiefs football, some schedules, some things like that. We talked a little bit of Royals with Jack Johnson in the first hour. We will be hanging out with Mick Schaefer coming up in the next segment. Let's hear from Andy Reid here. He was on NFL Network last night and talking about the schedule and also Patrick Mahomes and the first two games of the season being primetime Monday and Sunday night games at home, and whether that has to do with the NFL having a little bit of inside information that Patrick is going to be fine. So here's Andy Reid on NFL Network talking about the schedule, but they start off with asking him what's the latest and does he have an update on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Judy, he's doing great right now. And that's kind of how you have to go about this. I've said this before, but I mean, people go, well, he's ahead of schedule, or is he ahead of schedule? I'm going, who made the schedule? I mean, everybody's different, right? And so let's just take it day by day. And nobody's spending more time than he is rehabbing. He spends 7 hours here going through it, and he hasn't missed a day, and he wants more, and all the things that are Patrick Mahomes. And but let's see where we're at as we go forward and we get a little bit closer to the game. Roger Goodell probably used this as motivation for the two quarterbacks. Both of them have been banged up a little bit this offseason, so he's doing his best coaching to get them back in there, I think.
Andy, no offense to the other guys involved here, but Justin Fields versus Jarrett Stidham. The NFL's not trying to put that game on in week one. So I'm going to ask the question Judy did, but more directly here. Do you get a call? Does someone give you a call and like, Andy, can you give us like a lean here, a 60-40? Are we going to regret this game in week one? What communication, if any, is there about that?
Tom, I don't give him anything. Doggone it. You give him too much, then you're going to be playing over in Australia. Doggone it. Huh? So you don't want to give him too much. No, listen, he's making progress, and I've said that all along. But you don't know. I mean, that's the reality of it. You don't know, and you're not going to put the player in a position where he can't tend to himself out on a football field. And so you got to be smart with that, I think, and then you've got to rely on your medical staff. And I have a lot of trust in them. I have a lot of trust in Dr. Cooper, who did the surgery. I have a lot of trust in Rick Burkholder, our trainer, and Julie, our physical therapist, who works with him every day. So I'm going to kind of bank on them and see where we're at. If it's Pat, he'd go play today. But, I mean, that's not where we're at. We've got time here, and let's see where we're at.
Some of that, though, that we've heard and we know about, with what they've said about, hey, schedule, who makes the schedule? I mean, he's ahead of schedule. Who makes the schedule? Well, if they say he's ahead of schedule, it's the schedule that the doctors and the trainers and the rehab specialists put together. And also, it's not a surprise that whatever schedule they put there is probably pretty conservative. And then Patrick Mahomes is like, yeah, no, I'm going to be way ahead of that. And he'll go out there and do those things.
I love
the Australia part.
The Australia.
That to me is like the biggest takeaway from that, Sterling. Is he told you right there, bleep, no, we don't want to go to Australia. You give him too much, then you get sent to Australia. Doggone it.
Also, 1,000%, he is not telling the NFL anything. If he communicates with the NFL the way he communicates with Kansas City media, he's not saying anything.
Well, that's publicly the way he communicates with Kansas City media. I don't know. In Kansas City media, would he have said anything about getting sent to Australia? You give him too much information, then you're getting sent to Australia. Doggone it. Yeah, they didn't want to go to Brazil, didn't want to go to Australia, perfectly fine not playing internationally. The schedule ain't exactly great in the order like we've talked about a couple of times, but a couple of things that I'll take solace in: no international game, and they're not playing on Christmas. So totally fine with both of those things. And you got to play these teams at some point. And it's not necessarily the travel and getting on the plane that often, because these planes are pretty nice, okay? It's not exactly some rough trips to go from Kansas City to L.A. You ain't going through TSA, okay? and the fine folks over at KCI Airport, Jude and the boys that are there, helping everybody get through security as quickly as possible. Like, you're not doing that if you're the Chiefs. You're driving right up there and getting on that cushy little plane, or big plane, and going to L.A. and Buffalo and Cincinnati and L.A. and Atlanta and Seattle and Denver and Miami and Vegas. Like, those are, it's not that bad. It's a matter of so often flying out, hotel, playing that game, flying back, as opposed to waking up Sunday, driving to the stadium, driving home, and you're sleeping in your own bed, and then there's that routine. You're out of that for a good portion. It's one thing to be out of a routine, Sterling, when you're playing Monday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Wednesday, and also Sunday from time to time. Like that routine the Chiefs have talked about, that you kind of get used to being... You get used to not having a regular routine. Today's a Thursday, but it's Wednesday. Today is our Friday, but it's Saturday. Today's our this, but it's that. The now getting used, or not having any consistency with when you play. There's also not the consistency of like being at home.
Yeah.
So you've got the different times of the week, but also then you're getting on the plane and traveling and things like that. So it's not the worst thing to be on a nice chartered plane to go there, but it's also not the worst thing to be able to go to sleep and wake up in your own bed on Sunday morning and Sunday night.
Yeah, but a 5-hour flight's a lot different than an 18-hour flight. Let's be real now.
It is, but a 5-hour flight when you're in a nice plane and not, stuffed in the middle seat between two other people, they're a little different.
No, I get that.
Russell Wilson can do calisthenics in the middle of those planes. Up and down the aisle.
I have always wondered how many players have a fear of flying, because there's got to be a good
true.
subsect.
Got some injuries that maybe being in the air. Jawan Taylor talked about that. Sorry, were you going there,
I was
Michael?
literally going to say Jawan Taylor had to prop his knee up so it wouldn't fill up with
They
fluid.
actually put him on the wing.
And so
he left before the plane did.
Something on the wing, something on the wing.
It's not that
He was holding up the plane.
It's not that we don't.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Not that we don't like Australia, or that Australia's don't go there. No, it's literally because of travel only. Because I just think that's Patrick with his knee too.
Right, absolutely.
I mean, would his knee swell even after surgery? I mean, we don't know.
I think it's just like the time change, your body clock, all of that stuff that you got to get used to and get acclimated there, and then come back and get acclimated again.
And no bye week.
Yeah, right. And they didn't have to get acclimated when they went to Brazil. Like, your body clock's the same. You're not across, on the other side of the globe when that is taking place. So that part of it, I like for the Chiefs' schedule. They don't have an international game, even though Kelsey wanted to go to Spain and predicted that they would be sent to Spain to play the Falcons on the road, because they tape those New Heights podcasts. They release them on Wednesday. Turns out that's not live. That's not live on Wednesday morning when they're doing their podcast. That thing's taped. Turns out weird. And then it comes out Wednesday morning. So the international games hadn't been announced when they taped the New Heights podcast. So you can watch the podcast live as it's being released, knowing the Falcons do not play the Chiefs in Madrid, while listening to Travis saying, I'm going to say we're going to Spain this year. I'm going to say we're going to Spain, and I hope we are, because that sounds like a lot of fun, and I'd love to play over there in Spain. So, I'm going to go on record. I'm going to say, Jason, that we get the trip to Spain, and we're playing the Falcons. It's like 24 hours ago we found out that wasn't going to happen. Kelsey, maybe he was trying to publicly say that, as in like, we know we're going to get sent internationally, so I'm not going to complain about it. And then it comes out that we got to go there. I'm going to say, yeah, let's do it. Let's go there. And if it happens, I can complain privately, but at least publicly I've said it's all good. It's all good. We want to do that anyway.
Do we think Clark Hunt's pissed by the schedule? No Christmas, no international game?
He gets the Thanksgiving night, so at least he gets that. It's back-to-back years playing on Thanksgiving for the Chiefs, and then a Black Friday before that. So that week, the Chiefs have been a part of the Thanksgiving festivities, but it's also been 3 years in a row that they've been a part of Christmas, and they didn't do that So I think Clark Hunt, no international and no Christmas Day, is probably annoyed because they wanted to go to Spain, they wanted to go to Australia, and they want to be the Cowboys/Lions of Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And they got none of the above.
They're 1-2 on Christmas and 0-1 on Thanksgiving. Recently.
So you're saying you want more games, less games? So you're agreeing with me, no Thanksgiving and Christmas games. Thank you, Michael.
I
About
thought the
time.
Chiefs had to pick one. Pick Thanksgiving, pick Christmas. You don't get both.
Well, Clark was like, I want both.
I'm sure he wanted both.
But I want to go to Nugget now, Daddy. That's what Clark was saying.
Didn't like that.
That's going to be great.
got a golden
Can I cut that
ticket.
before 2?
Yeah, that needs to be played at some point.
Violets turn violet.
Yeah, we don't need to go through the movie.
Oh, okay.
We know the movie.
What do you do when a kid is a brat?
Again, for me, I think Clark's not thrilled. I think Clark's not
Can we
thrilled.
get back on track, Sterling? I mean, come on.
I'm not.
Let's go.
I'm not thrilled. I don't know who's the most thrilled by this schedule.
Who's the most thrilled? The opposition. I don't know.
The Rams, the Bengals, the Bills.
Bengals probably. I would say the Bengals. Yeah, because you get the Chiefs coming off back-to-back. Well, you know what? The Bengals are probably like, yeah, they're coming off back-to-back road
10
games. They
days.
get a mini bye. For the Bengals, you're saying, well, we're going to Cleveland on Sunday. That's a tough physical defense.
Yeah.
And a physical team that wants to run the ball down your throat, play tough defense. We're going to go there in a division rival game, and the Chiefs have been sitting at home for 3 days.
I think. Did you say, Darcy, the trap one was Atlanta or the Cardinals?
I think Atlanta's
He
the
said
bigger
Atlanta.
trap.
Matt said Arizona.
I think both. I would maybe lean Arizona.
Because it's a noon game at home between 2 road games and right before that Thanksgiving Day game where 4 days from that noon kickoff, you're going to be in Buffalo playing that Thanksgiving night.
Correct. And Brissett last year had some games where you go, wow, he looks pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's true.
Yeah, who did they draft? They drafted a.
It was Carson Beck.
No. They drafted what's his name?
It was Carson Beck.
No.
A running back?
Yeah, running back.
Oh, Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, Love.
Carson
Love.
Beck doesn't affect this.
Well, he might be the
He might.
quarterback.
No chance.
I just love that Sterling's thinking of the running back and Michael's like, Carson Beck. No, they drafted Carson Beck. Well, no, not the quarterback. They drafted Carson Beck, Sterling. But no, running back, Carson Beck.
You might have to be.
But that offense should be decent. I mean,
Yeah, they're going to
that-
hand the ball off a lot.
Well, and Brissett threw the ball a ton last year because they had the breakout of was it Michael? What was his name? The big body receiver.
I'm gonna let you get there.
It
You
was-
do this to me all the time.
It wasn't Marvin
It wasn't
Harrison.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I know
but
exactly who
he-
it was.
Yeah, I
He was
know.
on my fantasy team.
Not Michael Thomas. Not Michael Johnson.
Neither one of those. You are right.
Michael Wilson.
Was it Michael Wilson?
Michael Wilson.
Oh, how about that?
It's a common name.
Wilson. Yeah,
But-
you got there on your own.
I
Or
think-
with the Google machine.
Google machine. I think the Arizona game probably for me would be the one where I go, that would be the, not sleepwalk, but maybe you come out a little flat, and that Arizona team you can't, because even the past couple years, even with Kyler, they've
Yeah.
been very Jekyll and Hyde.
Extremely.
Extremely Jekyll and Hyde, where at times they look like they might compete for the NFC West, and then they collapse. This is about the week 11's about a lot of times when the collapse starts to happen for Arizona. End of the year, but that was also more so under Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler.
Let me give you this proposition. That 3-game road trip at Buffalo, at LA, at Cincinnati. I give you door number 1 and door number 2.
Okay.
Door number 1 is an unknown. You can take a sailboat now. Door number 2 is an unknown. I'm just joking.
I'm so confused.
Door number, it was the whole thing, but I don't know. That could be a sailboat, something like a sailboat. That'd be
I'll take a
awesome.
sailboat.
It's like, well, you already get a sailboat, but that door number 2 could be a sailboat. Door number 1 is unknown record. Door number 2 is 1-2 in the 3-game road trip. Are you taking door number 1 and saying, I'll take my chances? Or door number 2 and saying you get one of those 3 games in that 3-game stretch on the road?
I take my chances.
You got to take your chances.
I'm taking door number 2.
You're taking the 1 and 2.
Taking door number 2. I'll take 1 and 2 right now. That's a
Who's
tough
that one
stretch.
win against, though?
I think
it
it'll
does
matter because of
Conference record.
tiebreakers and things like that.
I'll settle out of court 1-2 if it's Buffalo.
Buffalo or Cincinnati? Buffalo or Cincinnati? Because I think Cincinnati's going to be better than what they were a year ago. I think they're going to be closer to the back-to-back playoffs Cincinnati, then no playoffs since losing to the Chiefs at Arrowhead when Dumbhead pushed Mahomes out of bounds, and Bengals heads still say that wasn't a penalty for some reason, or it was only a penalty because it was Mahomes.
I'll take door 2 then. If you can guarantee that
Buffalo
Bills win.
So
I think
conference record-wise, it'd be nice to beat the Rams.
I
on Thursday Night
can't
Football.
guarantee you Buffalo, but I can guarantee you Buffalo or Cincinnati.
Either way,
1-2.
conference win.
So 1 and 2, it's Cincinnati. You would take door number 2 if it's 1 and 2 and the win is against Cincinnati.
Yeah, because that could be. I think 1 and 2 is probably what they do.
Every year.
No, you play to win the game. It's just that simple.
I think the Chiefs are going to play to win the game. I think they are. And whatever I take, whichever door I choose, it won't affect them at all.
I'd love to revisit this. We're taking 1 and 2. Watch them go 0 and 3 in that stretch, and then
Sterling's a dummy for taking door number 1.
Yeah.
Or they go 2 and 1, and it's like Sterling's like, "See, I told you guys."
Or they go 1 and 2. I think in that stretch, I think the easiest of the 3 would be the Bengals because you do have the 10 days off, the mini bye. I think the Bengals are the worst of those 3 teams, although I think all 3 are playoff teams.
I do too.
I mean, again, if you told me right now, I think the Bengals are a playoff team right now. I think they've improved a good amount. And again, it comes down to Joe Burrow. Can he finally stay healthy? He kind of does his every other thing. Well, this should be a healthy year for him then. I still think 1 and 2. I don't take it because you can't guarantee. Now it's football any given Sunday. You still have Patriots, Niners, and at LA Chargers after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
I mean, that could also be a 1 and 2 stretch. Then you're looking at a 2 and 4.
Well, that would be rough because you got 2 games at home. Like I know they're
I'm
they're
with
good
you,
teams, but we're talking about good teams on the road versus good teams at home, and you should be taking care of business with this schedule. You need to be taking care of your home schedule.
You have to, especially late, because we talked about how
you get
many
3
road
out
games. Yes.
That's when the schedule breaks in your favor. Is the last 4 weeks of the season, 3 home games. Rough middle, 2 home games to
Brutal
start.
middle.
End with 3 out of 4 at home, but you've got an 11-game stretch between there when you play 3 home games.
I'm trying to think, when was the last time? Because I think people might listen and say, well, you're going to complain about the schedule every year. Was it 2 years ago when we're like, this is an amazing schedule?
Yeah, there have been plenty of times.
There have been plenty of times I'm like, wow, they got away with, for being the number 1 team and winning it, they got away with one. This is not that year. And I think the reason my frustration lies here is after you go 6-11, you have Patrick coming off of a major injury. The frustration that permeated, the stink that was left on you after last year, and then you find out it's a week 5 bye. You have that 3-game stretch on the road. I think it's fair to feel some type of way.
Last year, I was fine with their schedule. They got the bye week in week 10, and it was like, well, you got some tougher games to start off with. You go to Brazil, that's tough, but you get Philadelphia at home. Then you go to the Giants, a little bit of an easier one before returning against Baltimore. Jacksonville is going to be an interesting game on the road, but then you get Detroit, Vegas, Commanders at home, Buffalo on the road, but then you get a bye week. And then on a bye week, you go to Denver. Like they gave you a break by coming off a bye and going to Denver to start that off. Then you get the Colts at home, Thanksgiving in Dallas, but then 4 of the next 6 games are all at home, with the only road games being Tennessee and Vegas. I loved the schedule last year.
I guess it should have been a cakewalk.
I loved the schedule last year. Didn't think they would start off 2 and 3, but and certainly didn't think that they would collapse the way that they did with Patrick Mahomes and going 1 and 3 after the bye week before, and 1 and 4 because again he was in that game against the Chargers. For the most part.
It wasn't.
And he threw the interception. That's so 1 and 4 coming out of the bye week when the schedule was supposed to quote unquote lighten up to a degree.
Well, let's be good this year, Chiefs, because not back-to-back bad years, and the Royals let us down, or letting us down.
What the hell?
Can't have that.
It's ridiculous, Royals.
Let me have some fun.
I blame the Royals, really. I blame it all on the Royals. 2 years ago, they got the early bye week in week 6. Not as early as this year, but they got the week 6 bye week.
I think it was last year where we thought the schedule was pretty, besides the Brazil.
I thought it was, And Brazil, you're like, well, at least it's week 1.
Yeah.
And at least then you got a mini bye to come back and do all
I
that
think
stuff.
last year was the one I was thinking of where it fell. Semi broke the Chiefs' favor, but then we find out, obviously, you have to play the games. Not on paper, but play.
Was that Brazil game on Friday night?
No, it was a Thursday night game.
Thursday night game?
No, it was a Friday game. Yeah, that's right, because Brazil the
I
last
don't want to
couple
do
years,
though. Was it played on Saturday or Sunday game? But
No, we're not doing this again.
I think it was a Friday.
No, it was a Friday. It was a Friday because the Brazil games were Fridays with the NFL kickoff being Thursdays, except for this year with it being a Wednesday.
Because the Eagles played the Cowboys, and it was a
Yep,
disaster.
the year before that. In 2023, coming off the Super Bowl win in 2022, the Chiefs got the bye week in Week 10. They got after the bye week because they went to Germany to play Miami. Then you get the bye. Then you get Philadelphia at home coming off the bye. Awesome, Super Bowl rematch. But you're coming off a bye week against the Eagles. Then you got to go to Vegas. Okay, that's fine. Coming off a bye. Then you head to Green Bay, but at least you're heading to Green Bay after going to Vegas and probably taking care of business there. Then you get Buffalo at home. Get the Bills at home. New England on the road's kind of tough. But then you get back-to-back home games, and that Chargers game probably won't matter because you can, rest your guys, which they did. So that was a pretty nice schedule, too, that particular year in 2023.
They did lose a lot of those games on the schedule that you mentioned.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they did. Right. So the last couple of times we've talked about the schedule being a little bit easier and working in their favor, that didn't work out for them. They went 11-6 in 2023 with it being 4-4 to finish after the bye. And last year, I thought, well, I really like the schedule for the Chiefs, and then they just tanked after that after the bye, and losing to Buffalo right before the bye week. It was rough. So what I'm saying is, because I liked those schedules and they ended up being 6-11 and 11-6, 15-2 maybe with this one, since I don't like this one, so probably 15-2, 15 or 16. I would have to decide between 15 or 16 wins just because I don't like the schedule. It's really what I'm starting to determine in my mind. Maybe
I'd settle out of court.
Do you think they go 18-0 in the regular season?
No.
Oh,
No, not this year, but probably a few. Yeah.
They only play 17 games.
that's
well,
what I'm
that was
saying.
the joke,
Yeah,
Darcy.
thanks-
yeah,
thank
but-
you, Michael.
Yeah, that's.
Thanks, Michael. That's okay. You know what? It's Carson Beck, isn't it? Is it Carson Beck?
Jackal. Is it Jackal?
It's a sailboat. Right. More zone next. Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. Got some NBA action coming your way tonight. Royals in St. Louis for a 3-game set before returning home for an extended homestand on Monday against the Red Sox.
They should do a win one of these nights.
They should try a win. Just every once in a while, just
they
try
didn't
it.
lose 6-5 last night, so
There
I
you
felt
go.
like that is a step in the right direction.
Hey.
6-2, but yeah.
Going the right way. I mean, they're going to give up 6 runs. They just have to score more than 6. That's the problem. Go score more than 6.
Good luck with that.
I think if you,
What would the record be if they gave up 6 runs every game the rest of the way?
oh God,
They play 100
bad.
baseball,
It'd
right?
be bad. Yeah,
100.
100
They
baseball.
win 1 out of every 10.
Yeah, that was great. It made me laugh, though.
Well, then we can all blame Hawaiian Brothers because they have not
They
scored
have
6.
sunk this
They
shit.
haven't scored 6 runs since the
they did
Hawaiian
all
Brothers
takesy
promotion
backsies.
change.
Yep.
They have not scored 6. Not just that there hasn't been no, they haven't scored 6 runs since that happened. They've won
And
some
they're
games.
like 2-6, I think.
Somehow it's
happened.
Q's fault, though, in a lot of people's minds.
I mean, he makes some decisions.
Hey, if your
starter
starter pitcher gets shelled,
I mean, I
thought
don't
it
think
was-
you're up standing up and cheering on the manager when you're 19 and
I think-
25.
I think
I'm
it
not.
was-
I'm not standing up, but I'm not going to rip the dude.
But I do think it was dumb him throwing Lugo and Bubich the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
It was so stupid. Those guys going out and giving up 10 runs. So dumb. 1 quality start the last 8 games for the Royals.
He's been letting pitchers go longer this season. He's got a longer leash on Noah Cameron, and just hasn't been the year for that.
Yeah.
Used to, it was they did quality starts every night.
You want a longer leash? Here you go.
Here you go.
He's going to get shelled. I'm leaving his ass out
okay,
there.
now your breaking ball doesn't move.
That's okay. Arm angle. I don't know. They
We brought that up. I don't know if you
or...
saw his arm angle's 8 degrees lower because it looked like he was trying to get more run on his fastball, and his
What do
slider
they measure
is now,
that from? So when I hear like 21 degrees or whatever,
lower.
21 is going to be low.
sidearm.
So
lower.
58.
Okay, so it's from, but I mean it's from here up. It's that angle
So
right
this
there.
would be 90. If you're coming, this is
Yes.
90.
Okay, so it's
What's this?
the
It's a
ground.
radio medium. It's a-
90 is my
audio.
left arm is straight up and down.
Okay. Like you're giving a it's good in the
Wonder who has the
angle?
highest angle.
Chris Young probably
Lincecum.
back in the day would have been super high. Remember Chris Young?
Lincecum.
Chris Young,
for the Royals, yes,
Chris Young
absolutely. He
came
was up
way over the top.
which makes sense when you're 6'10".
I was going to say he was also that 7'5" when he released the ball.
Who was with the White Sox guy we saw the other
Schultz.
night? Yeah, he brought it down. He might as well have been
Yeah.
6'1".
You're right, yeah, but he's 6'11" standing up there with
giant
Tyler
human.
Rogers, I think, is negative. Let me look up Tyler Rogers.
makes sense. Yeah, he's
So
like, a
beyond 90.
He's like
No,
a knuckle,
opposite.
he's like a knuckle
underneath.
scraper.
Okay, I got you.
Like a knuckle scraper.
He's minus 61.
Oh wow, it's down there.
That's what the Royals run differential
That's
will be
I don't.
soon
I
if
think
they
there's
don't
like
fix it.
there's women pitchers in softball that aren't that low.
I mean-
Nigeri Kennedy of
Here we go.
Texas Tech
She's
is
only
like
got minus
low.
58.
I mean, let's look at that. Look at that, John.
Look at that, John.
That Jean.
Okay. He's
That,
just getting in there. Whoop.
Dude, that is basically underhand.
Right. I mean, there are a couple times when the dirt will sort of come up behind it as he's throwing. There've been a couple times.
I don't know why
He's
He's
negative 61.
Yeah.
I wonder how many pitchers are 61 or over. I mean, have that same angle.
Well,
up
I mean,
top.
yeah, Noah Cameron's 58, so just a little bit higher is going to be.
Yeah.
Now he's 50.
Let me see if I can find who has the most
Who has the highest?
highest.
I'm going to go Lincecum.
Well, I won't go back that far. Yeah, I won't
Lincecum
be
was
able to.
great.
Yeah, he was-
Lincecum was like 95. Like 90, he was pitching behind his head.
Yes.
It was odd how he maneuvered his shoulder like that. It's crazy he was able to do that. He was amphibious. That's why he was able to do that.
That's
you
right.
know?
Great hair.
Oh,
Royals
yes.
could have drafted him, right?
They could have, but the arm was already about to fall off, as they said. You know, he's
That's right.
pitched
He
so
didn't
many
have any
innings.
good years in.
So they
big-
have it
Jonathan
as
Taylor ran the ball so often at Wisconsin. You don't want to take that guy. He's going to break down. You get
Wait, was that
Clyde.
the Andrew? No, who did they take that year? That one Hochevar, was it? That was before.
It might have been. It might have been Hochevar.
Okay, it was a
Now I
Hochevar
gotta-
year.
Now I
I
got to
think
look
it
it
was.
up.
So they
yeah.
have it as 0 as completely sidearm.
Sidearm, sure.
0.
Yeah.
So for example, the second closest is Hobie Milner for the Cubs lefty.
Hobie.
He's minus 4. Tyler Rogers is
Negative
minus 61.
Jeebity Christmas.
So he literally is almost bowling the ball. Now the highest, John Schreiber, for example, for everyone listening, is a 7. He's one of the lowest in Major
Yeah.
League Baseball as well because he's coming
Yeah.
nearly straight sidearmed. The highest in Major League Baseball for a lefty is Montgomery, and for a righty,
Like a minimo.
what is that? Who even is that?
I don't know.
Myers?
Not sure. You tell me. You're the one looking at it.
Tobias Myers is 64. So
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's the highest.
Michael Walker, for example,
So,
is
I mean,
53.
I think
Cameron used to be close to the
I
highest.
think Tobias
yeah.
Myers is best known as the guy who was traded for Junior Caminero.
Okay. 58 for a lefty. He'd be the third highest lefty arm angle Noah Cameron would be. He's still in the top 10. He's number 10.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But Michael Walker is
Is that at 58 or 50?
50. 58 would be third highest for a lefty. They break it into my lefties and righties.
right.
Michael Walker is 53
I would
degree arm
expect it
angle.
higher. I would have expected guys in the 70s,
How about
maybe
this?
80s.
Maybe his effectiveness was that the tunneling from the other hitters isn't the usual spot where they see lefties. So maybe that helped him by having his arm angle a little bit higher, even though it didn't help the stuff on his pitches. It was Hochevar that they took, and then Evan Longoria went third, Andrew Miller sixth, Kershaw went seventh, Lincecum went 10th, and then somebody by the name of Max Scherzer went 11th. So there really wasn't an obvious guy that you would take number one there. So they went with Hochevar. That was kind of like a safe pick, you know, because you didn't really have a stud player that you felt good about a pitcher that was going to be a, I don't know, Hall of Famer or something like that. There's not, like, at least there aren't two Hall of Famers that were taken after
What was
that.
Hochevar the year before? What did he get drafted?
It was like 26th or
Yeah,
27th
late
or
in the
something like
first
that.
round,
Yeah, so he does that and then doesn't play and somehow goes number one overall.
Yes.
But he played
for less.
Yeah, he played in the whatever
Independent League or something like that,
League,
yeah.
God, where did he get drafted?
I want to say it was at least second round or something like that, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was like the.
Because I don't think if you're a late first round pick, you're skipping. I'm coming back.
Who are we talking about now?
Hochevar.
It was 40th.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was taken
drafted the year
40th,
before and decided I don't want to go.
did
and
not
then got
sign.
out, left Tennessee, and
Played independent baseball and went number one.
Yeah.
Because, Scherzer was dealing with a little bit of an injury his last year at Mizzou. Lincecum, way too many pitches on his arm in college. You can't trust that his arm's
Where
going
did
to
he go to
fall off. Washington. And then Kershaw, you're not going to go a high school pitcher. You got to go college pitcher so he can get to the big leagues quicker because they were getting ready to start winning. That 2006 year, it's like we are ready to take off right now. We cannot take a high school guy like Kershaw. You got to go and get a college arm. And that was just smart. It was just smart. The best high school arm, no thank you. Go get a generic college arm.
Kershaw's arm angle is 61.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
stop.
He does come over the top a lot. Yeah.
Greg Holland, 66.
Yeah. Holland does feel like it's
The Royals used to have a lot of guys because Josh Stallmont and Brad Keller. I'm in 2020. I'm in a deep dive right
Yeah.
now into arm angles.
Strom's got to be like close to 0, right? Current Matt Strom.
Let me go ahead and just find that for you
Thanks.
because I care about you.
Who cares?
I bet it's
23.
18. Okay.
Ooh,
This is like a
fun game.
Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm going to say it's 8.
He is at. I found Richard
6.
Lovelady.
Yeah, Dick Lovelady. I don't know who Richard Lovelady is.
Where is?
I bet it's a 6 actually. If I think again.
I'm not actually finding him on this list.
Oh, really? He doesn't exist. According to
They
your
can't get
list.
it with the hair. They can't measure with the protractor.
I can look him up specifically.
What else would you measure the angle?
I agree.
You know?
That's exactly right.
Compass?
I wouldn't use a compass. I would use a protractor.
What's the one that has the sharp
Yeah.
thing on the end? That's
Yeah.
30.
dangerous.
What? No.
For Strom?
Matt Strom comes
Nope, I
out
don't
at
believe
30.
it.
It says.
I don't believe it.
Oh, I thought you said 6. You were guessing.
He did. He was
Okay,
guessing.
Okay, I thought he.
Yeah, he was
found
just
it.
guessing. Yeah. I'm going to go with 8. I still think it's an 8. I think that's wrong. I think you're looking up the wrong Strom.
Okay.
Matt Strom.
Yes. Yeah. The.
Phillies, Royals.
Yeah. That guy with the great hair.
I don't believe you. I don't think that's the right guy. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling. We'll actually get into some stuff. I'm not sure. I do want to ask Mick about some of the schedule release videos
Yes,
that
I
were out
watched
there.
them all.
Mick and I both watched
Don't
every
waste
one of
this
them.
content.
No,
you
we're
guys
not
haven't
gonna-
talked about them yet.
We haven't really talked about it, except that our surprise that the Chiefs had a good one.
They had a good one.
A really good one. Like, we were surprised by that. I also want to go through, we will do it in the 1 o'clock hour, and just pick the games where Sterling, Michael, and Mick, their choices will be in pen, and it'll be what their pick is for the whole season.
Got a number 2.
We've already decided that I would also withhold the right to change as the
fair.
offseason
So
goes
fair.
along.
We don't because we're good and
Yeah,
know
right.
things.
Yeah, he
needs
needs- he's
the
got-
extra.
Right.
Figuring the handicap.
Yeah, it's like my
we're not riding.
exactly. It's like my handicap in golf. That's exactly what it is, which is typically my game. Warzone next. Well, we were thinking of the math tool with the point in the middle and then the like pencil around is the metronome. That's what we were thinking of.
No, that's
with
for
that.
music.
What? No, that's
That's
yeah.
a ding.
No, that's a compass you're thinking of.
It's a tire iron. That's what you're
Yep.
thinking of.
Yep. There.
That's
Absolutely.
it.
Yep. That's what we're. We'll get it right.
I
though.
don't know. Is it a Phillips head or is it?
It's a flathead or a Phillips head. I mean, this guy clearly you're not much of a golfer.
There's only two
there's only
heads
two
on
of them.
screwdrivers.
Phillips and flathead. Is this
The
a
flathead has to be the one with 4.
is this a flat Phillips or a Phillips head? Which one is this
My
one?
buddy Brett swooped in and saved the day and
Yeah.
texted us and said compass has the sharp thing that comes out of
Yeah.
it. So you can tell he's a scientist.
But I had heard, but when
Protractor?
without thinking of the protractor is what he first talked about.
well,
and
that's the plastic thing.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the plastic
it's the
thing
wedge
with the
shape. It's the half moon.
Oh, we're
moon
like what
thing.
architects use, right?
yeah. Yep.
That's more of a compass, I think, because it got the sharp
Compass
thing.
tells you north-south.
Right. See,
That's
that's
a
what when he said
different
compass, I'm
thing.
like, well, I wouldn't use a compass to do that. I'm not going to
Same
know
word can
which direction. But apparently,
I'm being a smartass. I'm sorry.
there are two different
I never
things
know
called a
with you.
compass.
Yes, there are.
It's so weird. That's what they do.
Well, I will say this for the PGA
Go ahead and say
Championship,
yes.
little-
Please give us a PGA update, and then we'll get into the records of what we predict for the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we'll get into some release videos as
Chris
well
Fun.
and some Royals.
Chris
Fun.
Goddard
Give
had
us
a hell of a round. He was
love
5
watching
under
him play.
today. Tied for second right now with Matsuyama, Alex Smalley, who's been going back and forth. Jason Day is Steven Jager and Minwoo Lee. Those guys are 3 under. Aldrich Puttgeider, he's in first place, 4 under, 1 under through 6 today after shooting a 67
that's a
yesterday.
made-up name. Still a made-up name.
Course has played a lot tougher than folks have originally thought. Scotty Scheffler 2 over today. He's 1 under
They got
overall.
a target in the middle of the fairway there. That's
yeah, you're right. It's
crazy.
not a graphic at all.
That's crazy. They're just pointing to where the target is.
The cut line has moved from 3 to just now moved to 2, so we'll see if it's going to be 2 or 3
Missed the target.
in a moment. Rory McIlroy tees off at 105. He is 4 over, so he's out to the cut line, as well as Bryson DeChambeau bogeying. Oh, no, sorry. He's 6 over overall.
Yeah,
he's
he
on
was
hole
not having
1
a
right
good
now.
day.
He just
Okay.
teed off, so
Yeah,
we'll
it's
find
not
out.
having a good-
Oh, he did have a good day yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay.
And by the way, this is brought to you by Dewey's. Stop by your local Dewey's Pizza in Overland Park today and try their new Korean barbecue seasonal pizza. Dewey's Pizza, taking pizza to the next level, and we had that yesterday. It was next level delicious.
I'm gonna cheer for Goddard up. I like that guy. He's like a Jersey dude. He swings out of his shoes. And
Yeah.
he's like a long drive guy. Well, he wasn't in it, but he basically could be.
He
just
was in
kills the
such
ball.
stupid spots today and found ways to get out. Like, he was in just the thickest rough, and he would end
Short
up
game's
swinging.
not bad. I mean, usually with those guys, it falls apart on the green. And he's a guy who's been in contention a lot. I think you win a major. I'm cheering for Goddard up.
The amount of one-handed follow-through swings I saw
love it,
trying to
man.
get out of the rough, just because that rough is thick, it's
Yeah.
grabbing their clubs, was astronomical.
Well, he's the guy to get out of it.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable to watch.
There's our
Justin-
guy Higo. He's still 1 under. Can you imagine not getting that 2-stroke penalty?
Right? How do you do that? Who gets fired for that?
I'd assume your caddy.
Who gets
Caddy
fired?
was up there. The caddy was on the green.
Somebody's
Sorry,
got-
on the tee box.
You better hope
Somebody's
you're
gotta get
friends. Like, you better hope it's not like a one-off.
He said he was putting on the
It should
green.
be great.
And he said
His fault.
He's
It
like,
should-
yeah, it's his fault.
the player.
But he's got to
yes.
fire somebody though.
He's only got, I think, 1 employee. And
Matt Nagy.
The caddy was
Matt
up there
Nagy.
on the tee. He walked. He's like, I didn't have my watch or my phone. I'm like, well, maybe they do have all those like Rolex clocks there.
I know.
Maybe those kids can't tell time. They just can't tell time.
I
on
don't
the
get it.
regular
Where's
basis.
the numbers?
Yeah, I know. Where are they?
Is that a compass? Is
that a compass?
Let's see what
Damn
the
it.
circle thing is. You should probably, you know whose fault
It's really
it was?
protracted his score.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, probably Lane Thomas's fault.
I'd blame him.
That's probably what happened.
Q.
Even though he's getting on base.
He's late getting to places when he's running bases.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yep. We'll take a timeout. We will go through the record for
Yeah, let's go.
the Chiefs next. One more hour to go here on the Friday edition of The Zone. Were our mics on for that? I hope not. That last
we're
part.
not.
All right. Yeah.
Well, when I said ball knower?
And then I replied with something after that.
I didn't hear you said. What did you say?
You don't need to know.
I can tell you. Do you want me to tell you now?
Yeah, tell me now.
That's an A and B conversation. You can see your way out of it. All right, there we go. Let's go through the
Don't be a
games,
D.
shall we?
Gargler.
Shall we go through the games? I think we shall go through the games. Let's be quick here, okay? But don't hurry. Let's be quick, but don't hurry.
Gotcha.
All right, so Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. I went
We're not
ahead.
doing preseason games on 41?
Yeah, we should.
Oh, and three.
Because they actually double up with two opponents.
Rams and 49ers.
Rams and Seahawks.
Rams and Seahawks.
Rams
That's what I
and
said.
Seahawks.
Rams and Seahawks.
They're doubling up.
Seahawks and Rams, really. Seahawks are first, right?
Seahawks are third.
Seahawks are third, right? Oh, you got the schedule in front of you. I didn't.
I
didn't put
off.
preseason games in.
Sorry.
I don't care about the preseason games.
I could've given you a
except for
copy.
what network they're on. Although I don't care the opponent of the preseason, but the preseason will be more interesting with Justin Fields and Garrett Nussmeier, as opposed to Chris Oladokun playing. So there's more intrigue with that. I think so. I know that I'm out on a
What have
limb.
you seen of Nussmeier?
I'm in the minority there. I'm out on a limb.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you are. I don't know if anybody else has even thought of this.
No, I think it'd
Nuss
be
it up, baby.
No, I think it's a more interesting non-Mahomes drive with Fields or Nussmeier rather than Oladokun.
I would say Fields.
but I think
Fields
Nussmeier.
over.
But Nussmeier was supposed to be a first-round pick, and then he goes
Yeah, I
seventh, and
guess.
it's like, okay, well, does he have it?
I hate that I'm agreeing with Jason, but I'm agreeing with
oh,
Jason.
right.
You guys, you haven't seen anything.
I
of
saw him at
Nussmeier.
LSU against Missouri.
How'd that go?
Not well for one of the teams. I saw Jaden Daniels at LSU against Missouri.
I saw
Yeah, that's
Jaden
the
Daniels
game I
at
remember.
Missouri,
I don't
yeah.
remember
Yeah,
the
that didn't go
Nussmeier
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
game.
maybe I don't know about
don't think
Nussmeier.
so
I just
either.
remember like watching him in college because
Do you remember
SEC,
that?
but
Yeah,
I don't.
remember.
It wasn't against Missouri.
You're the one that remembers that.
No.
Denver, Monday night, I'm going to go and count it as a win, Sterling.
I've gone back and forth on this one. I will go win, but
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Homer.
I'm nervous.
Mick,
Win
win. Michael?
for the Broncos. No, for the Chiefs. For the Chiefs. Win for the Chiefs.
The switch. I think the score is 19-22. Yeah, Chiefs.
I'll say win.
Okay. All right. Win. Indianapolis the week after that one, Sunday Night Football. Sterling, let's start with you, dude. That's what he thinks of
Win.
Michael's.
No, Mick just makes me laugh sometimes.
Oh, is that right? Is that what it was? It was just a little old laugh.
A little laugh.
Win for you, Mick Schaefer. Colts.
Win.
Win.
Sorry, I make myself laugh sometimes
All right.
too.
Michael Darcy. Colts. Win or loss. Sunday Night Football.
I'll
week
give
2.
it a win. That game kind of scares me, but we don't know if Daniel Jones is going to play.
We don't know if Mahomes is going to play.
Oh, I'd hope so.
Well,
I'm sure they hope
the
they
Colts are
think
hoping that
Daniel
Daniel Jones plays and not Anthony Richardson, or whoever the backup is. All right, the week after that, we'll start with Mick Schaefer. Miami on the road. A little nooner in Miami.
Little nooner in Miami. The best place to do those.
Yep.
3-0. Chiefs win.
All right, a W for them. What about Michael Darcy?
I'll take a win.
I'll say win as well. Sterling.
It's going to be hot. That gives Miami a huge advantage.
Oh, really?
Because the sun they put the Chiefs on won't matter. Dolphins
The
can't
side
swim
they
in the
put
heat.
the Chiefs on.
Yeah, they can't. They can't.
You said the
Which
sun they
sun
put the
they
Chiefs
put
on.
the Chiefs
it's
on?
the sun side of the
the
field.
sun side of the field where they put the Chiefs.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Dolphins can't swim.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're
In the
doing
heat,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
On
No,
the
that
field.
makes total sense. In Vegas, right before the bye week, 3:25 kick for the Chiefs and the Raiders. Michael, we start with you.
I'll take the Chiefs. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback in Vegas. It could be
Don't know who the big quarterback in the
Kirk
Chiefs are.
O'Chains or it could be Fernando Mendoza.
You mean Fernando Mandalorian?
Sure.
Mandalorian. Fernando Mandalorian.
I'll take
You mean Dragon or Nighthawk?
Dragon or Nighthawk, but Fernando Mandalorian. Yep. Sterling.
Just like flags underneath the stadium, they're going to bury the Raiders.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We got there.
Yep.
4-0. Chiefs win.
Yep, 4-0. Bye week, what do we got? Let's move on, and we will start then. Ooh, with me again. The Chargers, 3:25 after the bye week. It better be a win. You should be pretty fresh. Bye week. Chargers at home. I'm going to say
He's lost his fastball in the whole bye week thing.
W. Yeah,
Lately.
but this one better
And
be a
the
win.
week 1 thing. He had going for
Yeah,
so
no,
long.
it's, both those sort of going to the wayside. Sterling, Chargers.
Yeah, Chiefs after the bye
Chargers.
will have nice rest. I think the Chargers will be out of battery, so give me the Chiefs.
We're going to do this every game. Are we really doing this? We're going to keep doing this. Okay, well, I guess we'll just sit back and listen. Mick?
Chiefs win over LI.
LI. I'm from LI.
Going with the crowd. Chiefs win.
All right.
We all
Chiefs
5-0?
win. All of them 5-0.
Things are going to change in my predictions here
Yes,
pretty quickly.
Things are going to change. Sterling, we start with you. At Seattle, Sunday Night Football. Chiefs are 3-point dogs.
Oh, look, I see a hawk. Seahawks win.
Mick?
I'm going to be here. I'm going to go
Can I leave with you?
Seahawks.
Can I leave with you?
Chiefs loss.
Michael?
Seahawks.
And that's a table loss for all of us. So I'm going with Seahawks winning that one. That's a loss. They return home to then get on a plane to go to Denver. 3:25 kick. Chiefs are 1.5 dogs there in Denver already. Mick Schaefer,
Oh, I'm up first?
you're up first on this one.
Broncos win. Chiefs lose. Chiefs are 5-2.
That's an L. Michael.
Broncos win.
I also have an L for the Chiefs. What's your funny little thing, Sterling?
Is that O.J. Simpson escaping? Oh, no, that's just the Broncos. They win. Broncos do.
Let's
Not
see.
worth the squeeze, bud.
We all have them at 5-2, but with Sterling giving his predictions, we're all losers in this one. Let's go week number 9. Michael, we start with you. They got the Jets at home.
That's a win.
Yeah, it better be. They're like 10-point favorites in that one already. I'll go win with that one with Gino heading to town. Sterling,
Don't do it.
do it.
Keep that one in the chamber, Sterling.
You're pot committed already. Do it.
Wow, they're crashing. It's a sad story, but the Jets fall
Okay. All right.
out of the air. Chiefs
So,
win.
Chiefs. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well.
That's a nice
But everyone survived.
That's a nice thought.
Oh, that's good.
Everyone
Okay.
survived.
Yeah, because that usually happens.
It's like the movie. It's like the show Lost.
But if it's a jet, though, then it's like, maybe it's a fighter jet.
I've watched
And
Lost. A lot of people died.
I didn't watch Lost, but I figured they lived because they were on an island.
Some lived.
Some lived, yes.
Well, everyone did
But most
this.
died.
Everyone did in this scenario.
Yeah. It's like when back in the day, it's like, we didn't even have, parents would just kick us out, say, play outside all day, and everybody's worried about kids and kidnapping. We survived. Yeah, not everybody did. Yeah, not everybody did. There's a lot of people that didn't survive along the roads there. Nick, you're the last one here. Jets at home?
Chiefs win over the Jets.
All right. We have been lockstep every single game. Let's see. We started with, that was Michael we started with on that one, right? Yes, we did. Atlanta on the road. This is where sort of a trap game comes in. I'm going to go with the win because they should, if they're sitting at 5-2 at this point, they should be good enough to head to Atlanta and win. I'm going to go with the W. Sterling?
As a steward of nature, building and trust and spending hours feeding and conditioning these birds, the Chiefs will be a falconeer, and they're going to take care and beat the Falcons.
You want me to beat the crap out of them? We'll do it right now.
I'm a bleeping here right now.
Yeah.
Mick, what do you think?
I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Falcons. How about that for a prediction? Sorry, I'm not a poet.
I'll
like
simplify.
Sterling.
Chiefs.
Thank you. So we
Falconeer?
all are sitting
Real
at
thing?
6
It's a real thing.
into-
You falconeers it's a real thing. It's a profession.
Sure, I'll
Yeah.
take your word
Do
for
you
it.
have those little hats you put on them?
You might have to wear a little hat.
Yeah, bring your green hat. Arizona at home, a nooner there at Kansas City Stadium at GEHA Field at Arrowhead. We'll
We'll
start.
have the
With,
letters back up by then.
we'll start with I think Mick starts us, or no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then that was me. Now it's Sterling.
Oh, look, a cardinal. Oh, my gosh, it's getting... Someone ate it.
Oh my God.
The Chiefs did.
Jesus.
Didn't even fill them up. Still hungry.
So the Chiefs were in the air then with the bird?
The Chiefs were in the air with the bird. They got him.
Wow.
Are you
I
just-
didn't know the Chiefs could
Chiefs
fly.
eat the Cardinals.
Are you just like coming up with these off the top of your head?
Yes.
B Rabbit.
What was your first clue?
I don't know that these bars are killing it right now. Mick Schaefer, what say you?
I think the Chiefs. When it's crazy, my final prediction of this team and the record I have them right now,
dude, I'm
at 8-2. I'm like,
we might be
things
lockstep
are
on that
gonna get
one.
ugly here.
Michael,
I got them winning.
so your trap game didn't even have the stones to call it a loss in your trap games.
You know what? Actually, you know what?
Trap queen.
Flip it. I'll take the Falcons.
Oh, with that language, flip it.
So you
Easy.
want Falcons with a loss, Cardinals with a win.
Wait.
This was the Cardinals at home.
Oh, I never thought the Cardinals was a trap game. I think the Falcons is a trap game. So flip that for me.
Right. We had sort of decided because Matt put it as the Cardinals as the trap game for him. And so we said, well, maybe that Atlanta-Arizona.
I'll take Atlanta, and I have the Chiefs against Arizona.
All right. You got a loss there. All right. Now we got to erase stuff.
That's the middle sandwich between three noon games.
Yeah. Okay. It's a noon
On the
sandwich.
road.
All right. Now we head to Michael. Mick Schaefer leading us off. Okay. Here we go. Buffalo Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the Bills are going to win this game like they do every year.
Yeah, they win it. They win during the regular season at home. Michael.
Bills.
I'll go Bills. Sterling.
Give me the Army Scout, Pony Express rider, ranch hand, and showman, a guy who returned and settled in the Kansas territory, actually, but it's Wild Buffalo Bill. The Bills will win this game.
It's wild you keep doing this. Let's see. Right after that, Thursday Night Football in L.A. 3.5-point dogs. The Chiefs are Thursday Night Football.
Are there lines out for all these games?
Yeah, every single game they got lines out. Michael Darcy, lead with you.
I think this is a loss for the Chiefs. I got the Rams.
I also have the Rams. Sterling?
I know you might be ramming your head into a wall right now, and your head might hurt, but it doesn't hurt these guys because they have strong domes. The Rams will win this one.
Yeah, I like the Rams too. Chiefs loss. Like 8-4 right now.
Yep, 8-4. Heading to Cincinnati. 325 kick. 1.5 favorites. The Bengals are. So the Chiefs are dogs heading there. I go first on this one. I think they lose in Cincinnati. I've got all three of those games as losses. Sterling, Bengals.
Speaking of dogs, they're going to put some of their really just ash chili on a hot dog, and the Bengals are going to get sick. Chiefs win this one.
Oh, wow.
Okay, good for you. Mick?
This is one of the three third-place games, right? And so I am going 2-1. I could see a split between the Falcons game and the Bengals game. This is a swing game, I think, for my record and what could be a big thing. It could be a big game for the Chiefs, but I had them losing to the Bengals.
Yeah, I have them as...
Where are we at right now?
In society?
In society, we're at week 14. We're about to be 8-5. You've got them as
4.
9-4. Michael?
I have initially picked the Bengals to win this game, but you know what? I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
I think they'll go 1-2 in that stretch.
There we go. We're split on that one. And now they return home for 3 of 4 in these final 4 weeks of the season. New England, Monday Night Football, Week 15. Sterling.
I don't think I have anything for this one.
There's some good material for this one.
Yeah, there's
of all of the games.
Of
this
all
is
the
the
one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't divorce yourself from this bit. Got to get your affairs together before you...
Maybe you cheat a little and work ahead?
Yeah.
Shake things up.
Yeah, get your affairs in order.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you
I
look
can't
at some...
think of a single one.
maybe you release some photos that you've had of different opponents. for this
Guys,
team?
be mature here.
That's what it is?
I actually think the Patriots win this one.
Oh, wow, okay. That's a loss for the Chiefs. Mick Schaefer.
It'll be a photo finish, though.
Hey, nice job. I like that. There you go. You saved it at the end.
showed?
You saved it at the end.
This will be a lot like the week before, one that could go either way, but the faith I have is not there yet. Am I going Sharpie here? I'm going the defending AFC champions winning this.
Okay.
Patriots.
There you go. Michael Darcy.
He's going to fix something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
just
starting
to
to
a different
ran.
room. We'll come back
We
to
can talk
that.
more about the Patriots and their offseason issues.
We'll come back to that with Michael on the Patriots. Yeah, the easiest one for Sterling to have some fun little sayings about.
I know, right?
Well, I got no material.
I got nothing,
guys.
I don't know.
Well,
What could you possibly say?
Belichick and Vrabel, I guess, but we're both cheating.
How does that help this game, though? You know, because we don't even know if Vrabel will be the head coach for this particular game. Michael, New England, and the Chiefs, Monday Night Football.
I'll take the Chiefs. I think New England's going to come back down to earth.
Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see. San Francisco the week after that, 325 kick at home. We start with, I think we start with Michael on this one, but I'm not sure. Who knows? We'll just start with Michael on this one. Doesn't matter.
I don't know who's going to be healthy in this game.
Yeah, it's
And
week 16.
That's going to dictate, I think, who wins. I'll take the Chiefs.
All right. I think from week 1 on, I don't know who's going to be healthy in these. I'll take a win for the Chiefs against the 49ers. Sterling?
Digging for gold, and by golly, the Chiefs shall find it. It might not be Purdy, but they're going to get it done. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
God, there's so many questions about your upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
I've got them. They've lost 4 in a row for me, so I'm going to have to get them a win here. So they're going to beat the 49ers at home.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to get them a win.
Short week, too.
You don't have to get them a win. I mean, last year they were losing and losing even with the healthy Mahomes, and they couldn't get a win. All right, Chargers, TBD, Saturday or Sunday. 1.5-point dogs, the Chiefs are. I have this one as a loss for the Chiefs heading to L.A. Sterling?
The batteries shall be full. Herbert gets a win, and the Chiefs will have Sherbert to feel better after the game.
Ice cream always helps.
It does help.
I
I guess Gelati won't play that well.
Loss for the Chiefs. Don't spill them on your khaki pants, Coach.
W or L
This
for...
is going to be a L for the Chiefs.
Okay, an L for the Chiefs, an L for us.
Ice cream doesn't fix a black eye.
No, it can though. If I got a black eye and somebody get me some ice cream, I'd feel better about it. I feel better about that black eye.
On the eye.
Vegas at home, to be determined, Mick. We have no idea when they're going to play this game.
Is that what that stands for?
That could affect a lot of different things. Mick, W or L for the Chiefs against LV.
They're going to eat the W. They're going to win,
who
and I
wants-
believe I've got them at
Who
10-7.
wants to eat a W, huh? Who wants to eat a W? Michael,
It's a win.
win for you.
we go.
I've got him as a win in that one, and I've got it 11-6. Sterling?
Well, I guess that arc can't be lost because the Chiefs win this one. Raiders at the lost ark, yeah. So they found the ark, actually, I think.
They did.
Actually,
Jones.
This is a part.
Dr. Jones.
This is a part. What I would say, Sterling, with your way of going about picking, you chose poorly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sterling also
Hey, at least
11
I
and
tried,
6.
okay?
11
At
and
least I
6.
care.
Congrats.
11-6 for Sterling. 11-6 for me. 11-6 for Mike Kell Darcia. 10-7 for Mick Schaefer. We got there in
Sorry.
different ways, though.
Sorry.
But
Do
we
they
got
make
there in
the
different
playoffs?
ways.
10-7.
Should make the 10-7.
I
should
think
make
so
the
now.
playoffs.
Yeah,
It's
10?
7 teams.
10-7
Okay.
makes the playoffs. So
Now maybe they're the third team in the West.
You're not guaranteed to make the playoffs at 10-7.
You're not.
you're pretty much guaranteed to make the playoffs at 10-7 since they went to 17 games.
I mean, when they had the Patriots missed 11-5. Granted, when it was
That was back
6.
in 2008. Yeah, but since they've gone to 17 games, 10-7.
Would not have made it last year.
In the AFC.
They would not have made it last year. 11-6 was the final team in.
So last year was the first time that they've done it since they went to 17 games.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I looked it up in the middle of the season when the Chiefs were pacing, and it was like you get to 10, you're in.
Well, they didn't last year. That was not enough.
Yep. Right. So it didn't matter because they only got to 6. So that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, Broncos at 10-7, Steelers at 10-7 the year before, made it into the playoffs with
Yeah,
wild.
you have a good
wild
chance
card.
at 10, but again, if
So
you get
last
to
year was the
11,
first
you're
one. Last year was the first one. Pittsburgh, they were 10-7, got in as a wild card. Let's see, Ravens 10-7, Chargers 10-7, wild card the year before that. So yeah, last year was the first time since they went to 17 games that an AFC team did not make it as a wild card with 10 wins. Raiders in 2021, 10 wins as a wild card. So yeah, I guess you're not guaranteed, but every other year but one, you'd be guaranteed to get in. The total for the Chiefs is 10.5. You got them 10-7. The rest of us have 11-6. So it's
Right there.
right there at 11-6.
It's crazy because I have them starting 8-2.
Right.
5-0.
Yeah.
and we all
Tale of two
do.
schedules.
Given the fact that you and I, Mick, both went that 3-game road trip, losing all 3, and the homers and Sterling and Michael had them winning a game, I asked this question to
Where's
Michael.
our difference? It's the Patriots game at home.
Yep.
You and I both have the Patriots losing that one, but I have the Bengals winning, and he doesn't. So that's where we have
Yeah.
our biggest, I think, shift.
I basically thought, okay, they can go 4-2 in the division. I got them split in the AFC East, split in the NFC West, and I think they can go 3-0 against the three seed teams, the number 3 teams, but I dialed it back to 2-1.
So I asked this question earlier, and I'll ask you, Mick. You have 2 doors. Door number 1 is an unknown record. Door number 2, they go 1-2 in that 3-game road trip. Are you choosing door number 1 and taking your chances, or door number 2 and settling out of court
And
for
the
1-2?
3 game you're talking about, Bills, Rams, Bengals.
Yep. Michael wanted to then negotiate and say, "Are you going?
What's the record?
Are you
going
going to
into
tell me
this?
who I beat?" He said, "Because if you beat Buffalo, I'll take it, 1-2." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you they beat Buffalo or Cincinnati to spice up the pot a little bit."
I will do this, and I will push back against my schedule prediction of 3 straight losses there and a 4th overall. I think it's hard. It's going to be hard for them to lose all 3 of those games, regardless. So I will pick, hey, let's have an opportunity of winning 2 or 3 in that span, as opposed to, because I think with all the, the pie chart, the biggest pie is going to be 1 and 2 in that game.
Agreed. That was my thought.
Yeah, so I will roll the dice a little bit there and not settle out. But I will say this, and yeah, they lost multiple games, a lot of games in a row last year. So it's possible, but it did take Patrick Mahomes 8 years for anything like that to happen. I'm hoping last year was a huge outlier in all of this. And what were they, 1-10 last year in 1-score games? I think
it was rough.
And again, this is pushing back against my prediction of 10-7 at best, maybe 9-8. But I'll that'll be my answer. I'll take the door where you can do anything.
So the reason I went with the door number 2 and for them to be 1-2 is last year did a lot for the confidence of, like, 2024 was like the Chiefs are winners. Like, I don't care. People can call it luck, but they find ways to win. And then last year they didn't. Even, at the beginning of the season when it was like, oh, they're coming off 3 straight Super Bowls and they're fine, they weren't finding ways to win. And so that did a lot to be like, all right, so maybe there is some things that fell in their favor. They are underdogs in all 3 games. I would say the math would tell you it's more likely they go 0-3 than 2-1 by being underdogs in all 3 games.
Sure.
So that's why I would say I'll take the 1. I'll take the bird in the hand right now, but I know that I'm giving up a chance of they could absolutely go 2-1.
Well, yeah, I think
in that stretch. 100%.
I think if everybody stays healthy, you go into that Bills game, you're like, okay, they're going to have to play great for you to win. But I think the other 2, you're like, okay, these are going to be winnable games. You go to the Rams. I mean, they're a good team, but they're not, they're not blowing anybody's socks off. And then the Bengals,
we don't know what Burrow injury will be.
I can see going in. The Chiefs are 4-point favorites or something like that going to that game. So
we don't know what Burrow's injury will be in Week 14.
Yeah,
we have no idea yet.
We don't know.
We'll find
he hasn't
out
told us
as it gets closer to that one.
The new QB, new quarterback series is coming out. Maybe he'll say it then.
Is he one of the 4?
No, he's not.
You and I are pretty much lockstep there with that thought process of one. I changed
my thought process.
Shoot. I mean, Bengal Tigers can be kept in captivity, I think, and so the Chiefs will have one.
Yes,
you could have gone that route earlier.
Yeah, well,
you chose poorly again.
I chose the bad chili aspect of
And by the way, well done with the Chiefs in the video of throwing up when it was the chili.
So good.
We'll talk a little bit about the schedule release videos. The Chiefs had a good one. Congratulations. More Zone next. the switch hitter. I was impressed and surprised last night with the Chiefs schedule release video. Rob Riggle out there, super fan. Rob, do we have to say super fan when we say Rob Riggle? I think so. But Rob Riggle and Lisa Gilroy were part of the QVC video that they released, the Chiefs did. So I thought it was really good, and I'm proud of them because it's been a while since the Chiefs have put out a really good and
I don't remember a good one.
And yeah, I don't really either. I was kind of giving them a
bad
benefit
one.
of the
They've
doubt.
always been just middle of the road.
It's been like, oh, okay, they put out a scheduled release video. All right, fine, whatever. And then everybody's talking about the Chargers and the Titans and some of these others, especially the Titans with the man/woman on the street that was like the Arctic Panther Rars.
That was
you know,
awesome.
and
That was one of the best of all time, yes.
That was really good. But the Chiefs with the QVC, I thought was really well done. And both Lisa and Rob played the roles really well.
They
so that was
hired
good.
actual actors and comedians for it.
It was good. So I enjoyed the Chiefs one a lot. So that was I like the fact that nationally people were like, hey, the Chiefs are like one of the top 5.
I had them
videos.
ranked fourth.
See, Mick actually went 1 through 32.
I got bored last night.
I did,
Jets about last.
The Jets.
I didn't mind the Jets.
I was fine
that
with
was the
it.
painting. I like that. I
painting,
don't. It
seeing the
doesn't
mixture
have
of
to
the
be
colors.
like.
I thought
it was cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy funny or whatever. I'm like, they put thought to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
fine.
kind of mesmerizing. That's what I wrote here. Mesmerizing. I'm middle of the road.
Like the Vikings, Chris Jericho, that was kind of adding some funny stuff with the kicker, but it was a play on the bear. I loved it.
Yeah, every dish was
Every dish.
Yes,
Yeah, it was like the bear.
I
I'm
had
like,
that.
I'm like, I really like that.
Falcons was
I had
good.
artwork.
Falcons was good. I liked it.
I like the concept.
It's
I
the
feel
only-
like they didn't always land. They,
Fal-
again, they have like
yeah.
players acting.
Yeah, and it was like a bunch of different Sports Center commercials
Yeah.
into one.
And
But
they should have done 16, and each one like gives you the
sense.
game
Yeah.
for the game. Yeah,
The,
because that's the point. Like I got some boxes to check here, and one of them is like, okay,
Yeah.
you're revealing your schedule. It can't just be like. The Steelers one, I was like, what is this? It's a bit with, I think it's the guy from Mike, or what's left of the guy from Mike and Molly.
I kind of liked it just because of all of the Pittsburgh sayings and the
I
Yinzers
guess.
and that.
But then they put the schedule out. Same with
yes,
the Ravens
right.
one. I'm like, that's pretty cool for this
For
family.
for them,
And then they put the
But, like-
schedule out. It has nothing to do with
right,
the schedule.
It's just Zay Flowers showing up to a wedding and giving them tickets to a wedding. And it's like, this is our schedule release video. Boy, a lot of work went into that one. A lot of thought went into that one. The only one that I actually had a laugh out loud moment was Matt Ryan yelling at the guys,
Yeah.
"Get bleeping set!"
And it was the Saint, what are the golf guys?
Yeah, those guys are pretty
They must
funny.
be around Atlanta.
Yeah, they must be. They're
Yeah.
pretty
Right,
funny.
yes.
Yeah,
I
they're
did
good.
like the Aints with the trash can on it. That was pretty
Yeah.
clever.
What was your number one?
So my number one, I had the Colts.
Oh, with Simpsons.
Great combo of
Yeah.
new Simpson stuff. They
New
did
stuff, yeah.
brand new stuff. And then it's so great. You can find something from The Simpsons
some old ones.
for everything. And so for each game, they found an old episode or a line from it that pertained to the game. I thought it was a great blend. It checked a lot of boxes of creativity. Didn't feel forced. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is an idea I feel like somebody should have thought of by now. And I thought that was
What
really good.
Bart wrote on the board.
Yes.
I will not use Tyreek Hill in this video. I will not use Tyreek Hill in this video. It was great. Although I thought they missed an
They
opportunity.
have a lot of Easter eggs in there.
They missed an opportunity since they're heading to Kansas City, Missouri, to have the dad. I'll be dead in the cold, cold ground before I recognize Missouri.
Yeah.
Because they had 49 stars on the flag. You
Yes.
should have used that one for the Chiefs.
Yes.
The 49 stars on the flag. That would have been really good. They also poked fun at themselves as never going and winning in Jacksonville.
Yes. Yeah.
Like they also had a little fun at their own expense instead of just let's find all these Easter eggs and make fun of every other team that has some things, which is what the Chargers do. And
Yeah.
I've never played Halo, so the little Easter eggs and things that are in there were funny, and they have no problem going at teams
Yeah.
and the things that are going on with them. So I like that part of it, but the Halo thing I wasn't really. Again, I'm not used. I haven't played.
I
Halo.
feel like the Chargers ones are always geared toward people in their 20s, younger than me.
Yeah.
Like
My age, probably.
Yeah.
I'm 32. It feels like a lot of.
But it was anime a couple of years in a row.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Anime's kind of lame to me. I
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't get anime, so I'm sorry if
Same.
you like it. But I don't,
the first time they did it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Then they repeated it.
But they
and then
also
this one was-
they're also sort of the only team that's willing to every opponent let's just dig up and find stuff on them and just go at them.
Well, they still have Chiefsaholic, I think, in this one, right?
Chiefsaholic. They had. Who did they have?
When is
Not
X Factor
Chiefsaholic.
going to make one of these schedule release videos?
They didn't have Chiefsaholic. Who was the other one that they had? Not Chiefsaholic, with the little Easter egg thing. Because then they had the referee armor. Owned. They clicked and owned the referee armor or whatever it was, and then they had Donna Kelsey's renovation as the site
Like
of one of them.
just a minor renovation or something like that.
Yes.
That was pretty good.
My number 2,
Titans?
no, they're in the top of my second tier. I have 7 in the first tier.
Okay.
Number
Number
two
2 is Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield and Burt Kreischer.
I thought don't you
Couldn't do
hate
it.
Burt Kreischer?
What's that?
I
Sterling
couldn't do it
hates
because
Burt.
of Burt Kreischer.
Yeah.
He hates Burt.
Well, and then of course he does this thing where he takes his shirt
Sure,
off and
immediately.
he's got O linemen there and they're Baywatch.
Yes.
And I liked that it was short and it's punchy, and like each scene it was like, okay, he's messing up the Carolina Panthers sandcastle. They are doing something out there on the water. And listen, don't have your players act unless one of your players is Baker Mayfield or
good call.
Peyton Manning,
Yep.
or Travis Kelce, or we'll get to him later, Jameis Winston. All right, there's a small group of people.
Yes.
And maybe Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are in there.
Josh Allen played that role well because he didn't have to say much except
Yes.
for whatever that word was that I
Chrysalis.
don't know. Chrysalis or whatever. And he
The whole
just-
time I was like, I was the same way. I'm like, is that like a butterfly thing, right? Like
What
a
is going
coon
on
or
with
something like that?
Chrysalis? What are we doing here with Chrysalis?
So
I like that one, but I didn't know how you guys would feel about it because I remember the Burt Kreischer conversation and I couldn't remember who liked him and who hated him.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah,
I don't
But
hate
you
him.
liked
it's
the
like,
concept.
he's overrated, I think.
You're not a fan
I
of
find it
him, but you
funny.
like the concept.
I like the
of it.
concept, and
And you got to use Baker in your videos because he's
you
such a
have
good.
to.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Good actor.
The third, now listen, this goes against my rules, but it's kind of like you got to know the rules to break the rules, and it was just perfect. I thought it was hilarious.
Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah,
the Raiders.
Step Brothers.
Don't have your players act, and then don't have. It has to pertain to schedule. Neither of those things
Yes.
happened, but I was dying laughing. Like, and those two just they're cornballs, and they put them in that scenario. It fit perfectly.
It wasn't until I saw them both on the field looking at each other that I
Yes.
thought, oh my God, their quarterbacks are the same guy.
Yes.
Mendoza and Kirk Cousins are the same guy. They are Kirkland and Costco off the field, but then they're screaming and yelling and cursing on the field, and they're kind of maniacs. But then they leave there, and it's like, oh wait, I got to take the trash out tonight, honey.
Yeah.
Oh darn it! When there was the quarterback series, and Kirk Cousins' wife is picking out all his clothes, and Fernando Mendoza is like, yeah, call me the Mandalorian. It's like so ridiculous, dude. He pulls out a small little dagger.
It's been signed.
It's been signed. Who was it signed by? Damn it, I forgot. I meant to write it down.
Don't even look at it.
Who signed it? Yeah, that was.
Oh,
really
it
good.
was one of the shows, guys who sings in Vegas. It was.
Yes. When you're in Vegas, you're not got to get his autograph.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the Step Brothers.
They
one
did
with
good.
the
Chiefs at 4. I thought Seahawks perfume was funny. They put a lot in each perfume had to do like with the smell of the city or whatever, and they did a good job with that.
I thought they had a mic drop with the Seahawks at the end when he goes. It was Marshawn Lynch, and he held it.
Oh, God, that
and he
was
goes,
the best.
Beast mode, you bitch.
That was good.
And that was it.
That was a mic
I was
drop.
like, you know what? You're moving
Yes.
You throw Marshawn Lynch into there, I'm moving you pretty
You can
high.
say that word on radio?
I just did, apparently. I don't know. They said it on a video online. If you could say it on a video online, why can't you say it on radio?
My blood pressure just shot through the roof. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we can say that.
Oh, well, Lebo cusses all the time. Lebo curses all the time.
Garrett Dieter does all the time, right?
Yeah, but Lebo curses, which is a bad influence on Garrett Dieter. Dieter wouldn't curse if it wasn't for Lebo's potty mouth.
It's a female dog. You can
Yeah.
say what female dogs are.
Right. It's the curse talking that Lebo does all the time around here.
The last two of my first tier. I love the Rams. When I actually saw the real Rams video of the plates of the Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite with white stripes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Simple ideas. I love them.
Yes.
And then Giants and Jameis Winston. It was
Yes.
a really awesome idea. I like that.
What did
They
he
did a
call
good job.
himself? Not Picasso, but
Yes, it was something
but it was
like
it was
that, yes.
Pictionary with Jameis
Yes.
Winston on the streets, and if you guessed it right, you got tickets.
Some of he wasn't drawing logos all the time either. Some of it's just random stuff. Like, what is this, a cheeseburger?
Right.
Winston Van Gogh.
Winston Van Gogh. That's
yes.
what it was. Who thinks Winston Van Gogh is the best artist out here?
So, good idea, and you got
Yeah.
a guy that could carry it. So
Yep. I'm trying to see if I had
Worst one.
in my top tier. No, you had the only one I had in my top tier, and we talked about it a little bit that I think we disagreed on was the Falcons. I had up there with with the SC spot.
It's my second tier.
With Matt Ryan. I thought that was good. And some things,
I wrote love the SportsCenter concept, but it
Yeah.
wasn't entertaining.
some things they hit on. A couple of other things that were like they were trying too hard with the Drake London. Drake, meet our new intern. This is Kendrick.
Yeah.
And I was like, but the guy that looked at it and his name was Bijan. And then it was pronounced Bijan.
Bijan, yeah.
And then I looked over, it was just B. Robinson. He said, don't look over there. Don't look over there. No. You keep it right here. That was pretty good. I like that one. So I put it in the top tier just for the SportsCenter theme and things like that. So the worst one to me was I thought the Eagles was terrible.
Oh, horrible.
Sport-
I put
14
Lions
minutes.
last because they didn't try.
Yeah.
But it was 14 minutes.
14 minutes
of
of
them
m-
sitting around a table just pulling the cards. And it's like Jalen Hurts, zero personality.
Oh, my God, he is
And
milk
four other
toast.
guys. You got Saquon, who's not going to, again, you
Like
don't have your...
Saquon and Mailata, like they kept it for like a minute of the video is Saquon and Mailata arguing over how long the flight is to London. I'm like, this is dumb.
14
It
minutes.
was terrible. It's the worst one.
But apparently I didn't see the Cowboys' main one because I saw them.
Yeah.
What
it
are
was
they
an
doing?
8-minute long spy movie that they did, and it was like a lot of production and stuff, but it was their own actors. And I'm like, I feel like 8 or 9. I'm like, I don't really, I can't be invested for 8 minutes to watch a movie that you're putting together
Yeah.
here for this. Sometimes you can go overboard with the production value on that. If it's going to be a longer one, 4.5, 5 minutes maybe, that's as much as I'm
2
good
to
for.
3, man. That is
2 to
the
3
sweet
minutes
spot
in there,
right there.
out, be done.
Yes.
and move on
Some
with your
takes
day.
so long to set up.
Yeah.
Was the Dolphins one the Mr. Ross? Was that?
Yeah, it was Rick
That
Ross
was so
instead
dumb.
of
That was
Jeffrey
down
Ross.
there for me.
Although I did appreciate Willie Gay was in the video.
was in the
They
video.
did use Willie Gay as one of the players.
The Bengals just kind of had a regular release.
just a regular promo.
a voiceover deal.
Also, the Bengals. It was a promo. so it's fine.
Packers, I wrote, didn't get it. I just didn't get the Packers.
animated
It was animated,
arcade.
yeah.
So Street Fighter had the Browns had a decent like concept, but none of it was funny.
Commanders, I wrote, nice try, but way boring.
Science fair.
Saints, all weather, so boring.
Yeah, Saints was weather forecast. That was
Patriots, love puppies, but it was boring
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, but it was Six Flags and the roller coaster and stuff with the Patriots. Or did we watch a different one?
I just watched the puppies one, so never mind.
Okay, Patriots had
I
one where
hate
they
the ones that
they
do
were
multiple.
Yeah, they had one at the Six Flags. They just had the players on the roller coaster, and as they're going
So
over
I
like
didn't see
turns,
that. I
they were
didn't see
showing
that one
different teams they played. But again, I had that down pretty far because it's just the players yelling while they're going over different drops and spins and upside down on at Six Flags.
I think the Chargers one on one of the QR codes took you to the bread one that the Chiefs did.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, one of the ones was you'd
funny.
scan
Good
it and it would
work.
take you to the Chiefs.
Good work.
Bad one. Then a great one.
I thought one that I just hated, even halfway through, picked up and got good. The Texans one.
Oh, with
Ryan
Cushing?
Yes.
Oh, I saw a different Texans one. I saw
Well-
the hydraulic press of the mascot, like putting his.
Oh, that was an old one from like
I've seen-
there was a hydraulic press a couple of years ago that somebody used. Did the Chiefs use that one? Maybe
Chiefs, I think, did
Chiefs
that,
used a
yeah.
hydraulic press. Yeah, this was Brian Cushing just smashing his head into things
Yes.
and continuing to bleed more and more. And then he got to the end, and it was like week 14. They're like, and he's like,
covered.
everything is black and blue. He's missing teeth, and they're like, Brian, we didn't press
Do
record.
that again. We didn't
Sorry,
press
but
record.
week one. Week one smashes a helmet on his head. I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. It picked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we really just going to watch Brian Cushing bleed more and more as he's sitting there? But yeah, it got.
The Broncos wasn't bad. Took a while to get into it, and a similar thing to the Chiefs. It's a bunch of commercials that highlight each game.
They did have the Chiefs with To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, they did. That was
Where
really
they-
good.
where
No,
it
it's
was-
to catch a
fair
weather fan, right?
Yeah, to catch a fair weather fan. The only thing they missed on was, so it was like, I'm looking at your profile and I see that you're a Yankees fan and
Yes,
you're a
Lakers
Laker
fan.
fan. And he goes, well, it's really rough for you. In 2021, you're wearing a Patriots shirt. Like, no, the Chiefs had already won a Super Bowl in 2019,
Yeah.
and they went back to the Super Bowl in 20. The Patriot had missed the playoffs for 3 straight years at that point. Like, it'd be different if it says, I can see it right here, you're wearing a Patriot shirt in 2018.
Or if he says you were wearing a Tom Brady shirt, right?
Yeah,
Who
so
had just
would have
won
been
the
would have been
Super Bowl.
better. But the Chiefs had been to 2 Super
I
Bowls
didn't
at that
catch that
point and
part.
won one. In 21, I'm like, kind of missed it there. Should have gone a little bit dated before that. So, but yeah, the Eagles were the worst.
Eagles were the worst, man. God, it was so bad.
Lions is just like Dan Campbell just refuses
All
to have
business.
fun. It's like all business.
Are they
man.
always like that?
I guess, man. I don't know. 49ers, I didn't really get the concept of
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
wrote on that. I'm like, it's artsy and everything. Not funny, but it held my attention because it was just going in. Was that like Full House or something like that?
Yeah, like it was all different houses. Yeah. So, and the Panthers was just blowing stuff up.
Blowing stuff up, get my attention.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing because they blew stuff up the whole time. By the way, do you think Trevor Lawrence actually got a haircut?
That's a great question. I was wondering that.
No chance.
It's their.
I don't think there's
their,
any chance he actually got his haircut. No chance. We'll take a timeout. We'll
Could've
come
been a
back.
wig, yeah.
And there's a chance that Mike's mad at me that we haven't broken yet.